You horn tootin'. That's all I'm having to say. What's up, folks?
How the heck are you?
Never better. Could I get some more volume across the board?
A little more volume.
Absolutely.
How about that? The volume.
I just don't want to miss out on anything you guys are saying. That's all. That's the only point I'm making. Oh my God, I missed out on it.
Yeah.
Right?
You don't want to miss a thing out of this mug's mouth.
Call us Aerosmith.
This mug's mouth.
This mug's mouth.
Yeah.
All right. In any case, so we're back. Everything is good. Nice. And I looked through the news this morning. Didn't look like any. I mean, obviously, we still have a situation in the Middle East, all the rest of it, but I didn't see a lot of extremely negative stuff. Did you?
No. I saw a lot. I saw that we're bathing all wrong, and I thought we could definitely take a look at that at some point.
We're bathing wrong?
Yeah.
So, well, I haven't taken a bath in about 40 years. I like showers.
You never take a bath?
Yeah, I can't. I don't think I've ever taken a bath. Like as an adult, absolutely not.
It's like the only moment of zen in my life is when I take a bath.
I could see that, though, soaking in a hot tub. But, Tevin, one thing I would say is don't tell people on the street, I haven't taken a bath in my entire life.
Okay, yeah. Showers, yes.
Showers, yes.
Like, I guess, Brittany, do you have a big tub or is it just your?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I don't know. Even if I had a huge tub, I'm not taking a bath.
I don't want to tell tales at a school, but both me and Justin can fit in our tub.
What are you, rich?
Oh.
Jesus.
What are you, the Great Gatsby over there? My God.
I mean, it doesn't look cool, but we both can fit in there.
That would be kind of nice, actually, thinking about that, taking a bath together. It'd probably be pretty cool, I would think, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot of limbs.
Yeah, tell us about your bath time. Is it like candles lit, like rose petals, bubble bath, romantic, or is it
bubble bath? Yeah, we've got a lot of like the bath salts, but I'm scared to say it like that. But like we've got the
seem
Epsom
like a big
salt
bath bomb person.
Yeah, like
bath
we have all
bombs.
those. But whenever I buy anything that's like one use only, like bath bombs, I'm always like, is now the time?
Mm-hmm.
It feels so like formal to put in like a beautiful bath bomb. So I like to just get that giant bag where I sprinkle some in. Otherwise, I won't use like the wrapped up bath bomb. So yeah.
So do you play music?
Sometimes, because we have Sonos, so we'll play. Sometimes I'll play music, but a lot of times I'll read in there. Somebody got to tip off Justin what I want for Christmas is that wood bar that you put over things on.
Oh, so you're gonna have like a shelf in the bathroom?
Yeah, like a shelf in the bathtub so I can read without falling asleep and dropping my book.
Read my ass. You want to put booze on there.
Yeah, I want to put booze.
Right, a little charcuterie board, get some cheese and some
Oh my God.
Booze bag.
Exactly right.
Too soon, you guys, with the Matthew Perry.
Oh no.
Oh,
Didn't think
poor
about it.
Matthew.
Well, that's a bathtub, not a hot tub.
It gets pretty hot in my tub.
Hey,
No question. AJ, could you send me a stronger signal too? It still needs to be stronger because when I turn it up, I can hear myself being a lot louder than you guys are. I just want to kind of blend.
Okay. Yeah.
It takes a while to find these levels. There's no question about that.
Yeah, I'll turn up everybody else.
Yeah, you can send me a stronger signal. That'd be great. Because first time in my life, I will tell you, and this is an absolute fact, I've had to strain to hear Brittany. How is that even possible?
Well, you told me I was loud, so I brought it down a couple notches.
Well, you are loud.
I
Do you
know.
go home and do that? Hey, where's Go-Go? Do you do that?
Yeah.
I
Like
knew it.
literally, that's exactly what I do when I get home.
Do you think Go-Go is going to be a yeller?
Yeah, she already is.
She's got it covered over. Is that a Christmas shirt you got on?
I got a Christmas dress on.
Oh, do you? A dress? Oh, look at that.
Fancy.
Yeah, I was pulling out all my winter stuff this week because it's freezing out.
Yeah, and so you've got your winter. Well, that's not really Christmas. It's just winter, isn't it? Or
Yeah,
is it
it's like a winter vibe.
It's a winter thing. And then we got Tevin. He came in wearing the lumberjack outfit, which is good.
I'm very cold today, so
I understand.
I wish he's got a pretty deep V on, and it kind of looks like he's naked underneath his.
Yeah, this is just my robe.
Oh, that's nice. Very nice. Does that extend more than a couple inches below your waist? Is it a longer?
No, it does not. So it'd be very awkward if this was.
I was going to say that would be kind of awkward.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Naked under this.
He'd be Winnie the Poohing over here.
Tevin, why are you standing up the whole show? Well,
you got to show off the goods, but other than that, everything is good. Can we ever get through any holiday now with how without having to feel bad about celebrating a holiday. Can we ever do that again? Is that a possibility?
Who's making you feel bad?
Yeah.
First item on the national news this morning. What's better for the environment, a real Christmas tree or a fake one?
Oh,
I would say it doesn't really matter because don't they plant trees specifically for you to cut down on Christmas? Like, I'm pretty sure that's what a tree farm is.
That's what I thought. Do you ever go to a tree farm and cut down your own tree?
never.
No, that sounds terrible. I heard somebody describing their process of doing that, and I would never.
Catherine and I did it one time, and it was very, very heavy snow, no question. But it's kind of, we're cutting down our Christmas tree, and the snow's falling. It's like a dream come true. So we get the tree home, we put it in the garage and let it kind of thaw out, not really thaw out, but warm up so the branches would extend.
Mhm.
I'm not exaggerating when I say, once we put it in the tree stand, we then noticed that from about the tree stand 3 feet up, it was straight up. Then the trunk took a hard left for about 6 inches and then went straight up again.
Oh no.
It was just hideous. We had to go, but out in the snow and all that stuff, the outside looked fine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And with the snow on it, it looked really nice. But once you got it home, it was like, it took a hard left and then a hard straight north. And it would not stand up. I was on the phone with Jeff Passel because we did decorate it anyway. I said, what's the difference? If the tree's leaning in a little bit, who cares? That's wonderful. I was on the phone with Jeff Passel when it tipped over for about the 5th time. And he said, all he heard was, son of a bitch, and the door opening, and I threw it out the front door, the whole damn thing. He tells me that every Christmas. Remember when? Yeah, Jeff, I do remember when.
So how long did you guys do real trees for? Or do you still do
long time, till I would guess maybe 10 years ago.
Wow.
How about you?
This is our first tree I've ever done without living with my mom. Like in my house, we did one last night.
What'd you do last year, the year before?
Last year I had a 6-month-old. You think I was gonna put a tree up? She was like learning to crawl.
Well, you had a husband. What does he do? Sit around?
Right.
No, I don't want a tree in
What
the
about-
chaos. Plus, you have to imagine all the things that go in your house when you have a newborn.
Okay,
you have a
that's-
swing, you have a changing station. What was I going to add something?
Okay, that's
Swing.
fine. What about before go?
We just never. It was just me and Justin.
So you never put up a Christmas tree when it's just the two of you?
No, never.
I put up Christmas trees when it's just myself.
Yeah, well, I guess
Absolutely.
Gosh,
No.
you're a monster.
I know it is the first year. Me and Justin did it last night. So when you're talking about a tree, I was so emotionally happy last night
Yeah.
looking at my tree, going, "This is my first adult person's tree."
That is wild.
It was really, and it was like, and I was texting Justin this morning because I wanted to ask what she said when she woke up, because she's gonna be like, her big thing now is, whoa. So I hope she gets excited when she sees it.
Well, I got to believe she's. Do you have like blinking lights on it?
Not blinking lights, just permanent stain lights. Just
They go berserk with the blinking lights because they can't figure out why it's moving.
yeah. Oh,
It's really kind of cool, actually.
my mother-in-law Pam Cakes gave us a fake tree, so we just kind of were like, this will do. So we put it up last night. It's super easy.
Yeah, no, fake trees are the way to go. The last real tree I had I was probably in like 5th grade, and my last memory was my mom being so frustrated with having to sweep the needles all the time that she would then make me do it. And after that, I was like, I will never sweep pine needles again.
100% truth from all three of you. Did you ever get an aluminum tree with the color wheel?
No, I don't.
I have no idea what
I
you're
bet those are
about.
spendy as heck now.
Oh, are they really?
I
The tree is
bet.
made out of. It looks like it's made out of aluminum. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, I
And
know
then
what you're
there's a
talking about.
wheel about probably this big, and it's got 4 different colors, and it goes around and it changes the color of the tree as it goes around.
That sounds kind of cool. Is it pretty?
Yeah, we thought it was. I mean, it looks really fake, unfortunately. It's not a lot of work. All you do is, hey, look, I put it in the stand. Now we're good to go.
You can spend some money on some trees.
That's what I've heard now. That's true, huh?
Yeah, when I'm at Costco, so me and Gogo go down these 2 aisles in Costco that have all the light up stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Very into it. And I'm always like, yeah, right. Because it was like $500, $600, $700 for these trees that are, 6 feet tall and light up. And I just Googled it, and oh my God, they're more expensive even online.
So they're not like $500, are they?
Yeah,
Oh,
they
yeah.
are like $500.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, even if you go to like a Home Depot, the cheapest one they'll have is probably like $100.
$100, the cheapest one, but they go over five. I suppose some of the fake ones go over $1,000 because they put a bunch of stuff on them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because if you get it pre-lit, and then if it's a 9-foot tree and it's white with whatever on it, yeah, you're gonna pay a pretty penny.
No doubt about it. Well, once again, it came to, I think, $9,000 a year now, more than it was last year to live in this country.
Yeah.
We're talking about that, I know, briefly yesterday, but that's a hell of a jump when you're looking at it. Things going up by $750 a month. That's a lot of money.
That's rough. That's really it's really rough.
And what's even rougher is talking about sports with Judd Zulgad, especially when the Vikings suck so badly.
This is a bad day. The Vikings sucked.
Okay, now I can't hear him. I can hear him, but I can barely hear him.
Can you hear me now? How's that? Better?
Just barely. Yeah, we'll have him reset the levels. No big deal. All right. So I did not watch 1 minute of the game last night because I knew they were going to lose, because the Vikings do this to me every year. They have no pass rush. Their running game sucks, and they have mediocre quarterbacks.
Yeah, but besides that, it was a great game.
Now, I did see a report this morning about a lot of turnovers or something.
Oh yeah, Josh Dobbs. The honeymoon is over. He threw 4 interceptions last night and tried very hard to throw a 5th. That would have been a pick 6 if the cornerback hadn't dropped the ball. Yeah, it was awful. Honestly. I believe they now lead the league. Congratulations, Vikings, in turnovers. Yeah, that was about as bad a football game. I mean, I've covered a lot of stinkers, but that was definitely up there. That's one of the worst football games I've covered. It was, Tom, the ineptitude on both sides was absolutely astounding. That this was 2 professional football teams.
Yeah,
it was the Bears like 3-9 or something, or 3-7, or
they stink.
Yeah,
and they kicked their ass.
100%. And I saw a stat where it was the first time a team has won a football game without scoring an offensive touchdown since 1993. That's the kind of performance we put forth. And everybody wants to brag about, Josh Dobbs, the rocket scientist. He processes information on the field at about a 3rd grade reading level, because there were plays where he's not getting pressured and he would still, instead of throwing it to wide open receivers, just take off running and then eventually get sacked or launch the ball into the 3rd row of the stands. It was very frustrating.
And the coach's game plan, O'Connell's game plan, didn't make sense too, because he dropped him back a lot as if he's a pocket passer. And that's not what he's going to do well. I mean, this is not Kirk Cousins. It's the simplest, the Cliff Notes explanation of what seems to have gone wrong is Josh Dobbs was better off when he didn't know the offense, because he could improvise and the head coach didn't get pissed off. But now that he knows the offense, the head coach has this expectation he's going to turn him into a real quarterback, and that's not his skill set. It was very bizarre. But yeah, that stat Tevin gave is the best stat. It was that horse bleep. This was a terrible. I mean, the fact that this was on national television and the nation's eyes, if they watched it, were bleeding, is absolutely. It was embarrassing.
Yeah. At one point, Troy Aikman on the national broadcast, he goes, they put up a picture of the playoff picture for the NFC, and it has the Vikings as the 6th seed or whatever we were at the time. And he goes, nobody really believes that the Vikings are playoff contenders.
Damn. I love it.
He's not wrong.
No.
Well, after what we saw, the sad thing is you realize that at least that 7th seed is going to be, I mean, it's not like the NFL expanded the playoff picture because there's another good team that's sneaking in. That 7th seed that they put in, I think, a year ago or a couple of years ago, you guys, that 7th seed is just going to be, an underachieving, very likely below 500 sometimes team. So, yeah, that's ugly.
So do you guys take a lot of calls when you're covering? Because I kept getting these messages. You need to call in and talk to Judd and Phil about this whole situation. You get a lot of calls during the game?
No, we do a show after the game called Vent Line, in which we take the podcast or the YouTube equivalent of calls, which is people come on screen and talk
Oh,
about the
okay.
game and get mad. But or at least they got mad yesterday, and they should
Yeah,
have.
yeah.
But no, during the game, Tom, we are enthralled with the action.
Of course you. Well, then you have people on before the game.
No, just post game.
Well, that's weird. Because people kept telling me they're on right now. You should call in. And I'm like, but it was like about halftime, I guess, or something like that.
Was that Pat?
Maybe.
Okay. Yep. No, I saw a note. I was like, what's this about? And then I thought, I'm busy right now.
Well, that's what I
But-
told him. I said, no, I'm not going to do that. If they want to invite me on their show, I'll go on the show, but I'm not going to just call in.
Well, and I'm glad that we didn't, or that we didn't follow through, considering very rightfully so, you didn't watch the game.
No, I didn't watch 1 minute of the game because I just kind of, you could tell, again, they have no running game at all. Well, the one guy, Tevin, what's the one guy's name? Whoops, you can't hear him.
There we go. Ty Chandler is probably the best of our two running backs. Madison did pretty well yesterday, but overall this
Did he?
season
Okay.
has been just a train wreck.
So they got a little bit of a running game, but not much. They've got no pass rush. Has their pass rush ever shown up yet?
They blitz a lot. They actually do get pressure.
Okay.
It's ordinary. It's not the traditional pressure, but they do get pressure. The defense has played well. Last night was all offense. It was just atrocious.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, the problem is that they blitz a lot. They're opening up a lot of territory to throw the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the problem.
Yep. And the Bears tried to expose it, but how can I put this as kindly as possible? They suck so bad they really couldn't.
Yeah. No, as much as we did to lose the game, the Bears were doing just as much to also try and lose the
Right.
game. And they just
Yeah.
won by default.
Yeah.
That's what everybody tells me is the Bears try to lose the game as well. But once again, I just think if everybody knows you're going to blitz pretty much every down, that's not a good indicator. Blitz is supposed to be a surprise, isn't it?
Yeah, the blitz is ideally not used as much as the Vikings do, but they do
Right.
it to mask the fact that the defense was terrible last year, and it sort of works. The problem is when you play a good quarterback can expose it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's no question about
Like
that.
a really good quarterback can expose that.
Yeah. I mean, I just look. I love the Vikings. Don't get me wrong. I didn't turn my back on the Vikings. I'm not giving up on the Vikings. But right now, I just can't watch them. They're not very good at all.
Yeah, I mean the last two games have been. They had won. I think it was 5 or 6 consecutive games going into Denver a week ago Sunday. They were looking pretty damn good after a terrible start, but when you turn the ball over as much as this team has, you're not going to win games consistently ever. Like that's the one thing. I will say this about the 2023 Vikings. The majority of their losses have been self-inflicted. They have not been a credit to their opponent. They have been their own screw-ups have cost them. And last night, I mean, there was nothing about the Bears that won that game. The Vikings bleeped it up.
Yeah, I understand it. I mean, it's not really coaching, though, is it? Do you think? Because it seems to me the coaching's pretty solid, or do you guys not agree?
Tevin, go ahead.
No, I think the coaching has been pretty good this year. And
Yeah.
I mean, not perfect, but I would say that, I like Kevin O'Connell and Flores, especially much more than, what we've had in the past with, other than the early days of Zimmer. So I wouldn't say it's the coaching. I think it's just the consistency of the offense, not having Kirk Cousins, which hurts us exponentially, not having JJ, but really the offense just not being able to move the ball and put up points. And then the defense seems to be good, but in situations where maybe it's late in games, they tend to struggle a little bit. If we could just be more consistent, we'd have a lot more victories. And if we just had a competent quarterback like Kirk Cousins, we need Kirk back.
Never going to happen, though, is it? He's never coming back. From what I've heard, anyway. Is that true?
I don't know if he is going to want. I think he wants to be here, so I think it's just a matter of his health and if we can get that right contract number. But after seeing Josh Dobbs, as long as Kirk's healthy, pay him whatever he wants because we're going nowhere without him. So it's either get Kirk back or tank.
If they can find one, though, if they can draft one, if they can get in, that's my thing is, and yes, I think that they want Kirk back. But the thing about Kirk is he's going to be 36 next summer. He's coming off a torn Achilles. He's going to want a big contract. So as much as you might want him back, I'm not sure that this is going to, unless he takes a very discounted contract, which has never been his past idea. I don't know that it makes a lot of sense to sign him to a big contract when he's already not mobile and he's not young now, and he just tore his Achilles tendon. So that's my question: is like, what's the price to bring him back? Because if I'm the Vikings, I'm not going to bend over backwards financially to keep a guy who there's question marks about. Yep.
Do you guys believe in the theory? Because I wouldn't tell anybody, but I would tank every game for the rest of the year just to get a better draft choice.
Well, we talked about that at 1-4. Like we were all in on the tank. And I mean, they wouldn't do it. So they're not going to now. I mean, they're still in a playoff spot. Now they are only half a game up on 3 or 4 teams, including the Packers. But, you know, at 1-4, I thought, just lose games at this point in time. And of course they said, no, we are going to try and be competitive. And ultimately they were, but I don't think they're going to, Tom. They don't have, I think this team's going to go down swinging, as ugly as that might be at times.
Yeah, they'll go down swinging. I think we should start Jaron Hall or have Dobbs on a short leash and try to get Hall in the game. Or, I mean, at this point, I guess Mullins, if you're trying to give yourself the best chance to win. But it feels like at the end of the year, we're going to be one game out of the playoffs in the middle of the first round with a terrible draft pick, not high enough to get a quarterback, but not low enough to be in the playoffs. It's going to be it's going to be terrible. I'm not looking forward to the rest of this season at all.
It's kind of like the Minnesota Vikings from day one. They just don't quite do enough to win it all, do they?
Yep. Just a middle of the road.
Yep.
Or be bad enough to get the high draft pick.
Yeah.
That's the maddening thing.
Well,
Like if you're going to be bad, just be really bad.
Is Dobbs the one that had in 2 years has been with like 7 teams?
Yeah.
Yes.
Didn't that show you something? Didn't that tell you something?
Well, we saw it last night.
Yeah.
I don't think you can start him. Go. So they've got a bye week now, and their next game is December 10th against the Raiders in Vegas. I don't think he's going to start that game. I mean, last night was the type of game that was absolutely just atrocious. And if O'Connell wants his quarterback to drop back and pass, to Tevin's point, Mullins is probably the guy, maybe Jaron Hall. But I mean, Dobbs showed last night that if you're going to try to put him in more of a traditional QB role, it ain't going to work. Oh, but by the way, Tom, did you see who your twins lost in the last couple days?
That is so hilarious. I was thinking I got to bring up the Twins because they lost 2 of my favorite players.
I mean, while we're on the subject of Minnesota sports heartbreak, So Kenta Maeda, who they lost to Detroit on Sunday, I'm fine with. But the Sonny Gray, 3 years, $75 million. I actually thought was a pretty competitive offer. Like I thought he was actually going to get a longer term on the contract. But I'm very curious now to see, are they chopping payroll and they're not going to replace him, or are they going to try? Because there would be no better way than to kill the enthusiasm of that those playoff wins than to really chop payroll and not only not bring guys back, but not replace them at all.
Yeah, that makes total sense. I was really heartbroken to see that Sonny Gray is not going to be a Twin any longer. I mean, he propped us up. He was the go-to guy, no doubt about it.
Oh, he was absolutely fantastic. Now he's not exactly young. I believe he is 34. So I don't know that you could guarantee that you were going to get the same guy back next season. But that being said, again, my question is, okay, are you going to replace him? Because Chris Paddock, the guy that supposedly would replace him, is coming off a second Tommy John. You know, he came back in the playoffs and pitched out of the bullpen, which is fine. But that's a long leap from a guy who finished, in Gray's case, second in Cy Young voting in the American League. So this whole TV thing scares me a little bit. You know, the Twins are already warning us that the payroll is going to have to come down. And I just think they have to be very careful there, because if it comes down too much, you're really going into spring training, going to eliminate the enthusiasm that I think existed in the fall.
See, that's the great thing about it is we're 2.5 months away from spring training.
It's fantastic.
I know, it's just wonderful, but I don't like going in 2.5 months from now. I mean, 75 days from now, we don't have Sonny Gray. I'm not happy with that.
Oh, I think what you just said is reflective of Twins fans, and that's why we're being warned by the Twins optimists that, hey, there's a lot of offseason left, right? There's a lot of time to sign guys, blah, blah. And if you do, great, that's fine.
Sure.
But until I see it with this team, I'm never fully convinced. Fair or not, I'm never fully convinced.
It just breaks my heart because they were coming on. They made it, they won the first round of the playoffs, and, the second round they had some problems, but they had gotten better. They were building toward a much better team, and now that's just all been shut down.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure it's all been chucked out, but I mean, the pitching has gone from a strength now to a little bit more of a question mark for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there is some. Well, and I guess my question is, what's next now? Like, is the next move to try to replace Gray? Is the next move to make a move yourself? Or are you going to try to continue to trim payroll and trade guys? And, that's where I don't think the Twins deserve the benefit of the doubt on that subject at this point. I think that's the best way to put it. Like, let's see what they do. But I mean, hell, in December, if they make a substantial move, it could totally change our tune. But I want to see that. I want to see that move before I assume it's coming.
Have you got one person? I know you got to go very quickly here, but real quickly, do you have one guy in mind they should go after big time?
Well, it depends on what they want, but there's a veteran pitcher who I think is going into the last year of his contract with the Brewers, who's had a lot of previous success, named Corbin Burns, who I think the Brewers are going to move off of. And I think he wouldn't be cheap to take on his contract, and you couldn't get him for nothing, but because of his contractual situation, I don't think that you would exactly have to mortgage the farm to get him.
Right.
A guy like that, I think, would create enthusiasm and would be a top of the rotation guy that could step in. And look, Paddock might be fine, but the problem there is Mike. He's had 2 Tommy Johns, not 1. And so that's my thing is, like, you can't assume that he's just going to slide into the gray spot and be fine.
Yeah, that's very true. Well, thank you for your input on that one, because the Vikings for me are pretty much over for the year. I know they still got a chance of making the playoffs, but
they're still in the playoff picture. What are you talking about?
I know, but they've been in a playoff picture since I was 9 years old. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Touche. I can't argue with that. You're exactly right. Same for me. Sir.
I appreciate your time this morning, Judd. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Awesome. Talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks a lot. Judd Zulgad, Score North. Ladies and gentlemen, take a break. Be right back. What's the guy's name again? Chris Egret?
Oh, I'm so excited for Chris. I miss him.
Because of yesterday?
Yeah, I feel like we haven't seen him in like a year.
So you
that's true. You're absolutely.
I don't know what this action was. It was supposed to go like this, but it wasn't in the camera.
Hey, she wants to. Oh, you're supposed to yay, rah, rah, that kind
of
deal.
But I don't know. My brain's broke.
Mine is too, no question. We'll take a break. Be right back. Chris Eggert will join us right after this. You know the song Kokomo? It's supposed to be off the Florida Keys, right? Hate to break your Beach Boys bubble, but that's a fictitious place they made up for the song. Fortunately for the rest of us, the Florida Keys island chain are as real as the taxes you have to pay in Minnesota if you're a resident. Now, that's a reason to move south. In addition to Florida and all of Monroe County being beautiful, and it is, I've been there many times, the Keys from Key Largo to Key West are even more beautiful, and that's true too. This is Tom Barnard, part-time Florida resident myself, and if you want a second house or a new retirement home or want to become a Floridian, may I suggest you contact Matt Carlson from One Key West Realty. Matt grew up in Litchfield, and he's a super real estate agent. When it comes to finding your tropical island space in the Keys, he lives there and here. And Matt knows what's best in Key West to buy for your second home in Florida. As I said, I've been there many times. You would love it. Matt teamed up with fellow Minnesotan from Sartell and Alexandria, Kristen Eklund, who's one of the top mortgage brokers in the country. From Coast to Coast Mortgage, she'll get you the financing you need to buy a home in Florida or in Minnesota. Matt's part of the Lake Sotheby's International Realty Group here in Minnesota. And Kristen, his mortgage colleague, lives and works in the Keys, so they both know the Florida Keys, new and existing homes for sale, and are Minnesotan through and through. Contact them by heading to onekeywest.com. That is onekeywest.com.
Hello, I'm Brad Huckle, President and Chief Lending Officer at North American Banking Company.
And I'm Michael Bilski, CEO at North American Banking Company.
As a locally owned and operated community bank, we work with many multi-generational businesses.
Take Personal Care Dentistry of Roseville, for example. Dr. Walter Hunt, also known as Painless to Me, has been a longtime customer of the bank since we opened the bank in 1998.
When his son Kyle was ready to join the practice, they wanted to expand quickly.
With their additional space and equipment, they now are able to see more patients each day while providing the same level of care and service.
Okay, guys, I'll take it from here. If you run a family business or any kind of business for that matter, you should be banking with Brad and Mike over at North American Banking Company. Every time I deal with them or their team, I know I'm working with experienced professional bankers. So why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The Tom Barnard Show is proud to have partners like North American Banking Company, Bradshaw and Bryant, and attorney and advertiser Dave Bielke.
I've been advertising on Tom Barnard shows for years. I like Tom, not just because he's a good guy, but because the ads I run on his show bring me new clients that are hurt at work and need legal help. Tommy B works for me.
If you'd like to find out more about growing your business with the Tom Barnard Show, go to tombarnardshow.com, keyword partner.
You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. That's a great idea, by the way. You've got nothing to lose, too, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Always a good idea. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. You'll be glad you did. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. I'm Tom Barnard, and I'm a paid endorser. Yeah, search, damn it. That's all I have to say. Ladies and gentlemen, Channel 5's Chris Eggert is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation. Number is 952-925-5608. Chris Eggert, ladies and gentlemen, finally learned how to drive a car to get home. So that's good.
Yeah, man. That was a night in Fargo I wasn't planning on. But you know what? I had some good pizza and made a new friend. So there you go.
No, wait a minute. Where'd you have pizza in Fargo?
A place called Deeks.
That place got me through college. That
Really?
Oh yeah. That they built it back in, or started it, I want to say like 2011, 2012 ish. And yeah,
Yep.
that lot of intoxicated nights ordering Deeks at, all hours of the early morning.
I asked one of my Fargo friends for a suggestion for pizza, and she's like, Deeks for sure. I'm like, great. It was awesome. So
Magnus, so you did Deeks, and what else did you do?
so sat in a hotel room by myself, and then got up the next morning, and by the grace of God, found somebody, a Fargo friend, had recommended to fix my tire, and got on the road, and here I am.
No, I
Thank
think
you
it's
for your
wonderful.
patience.
I don't really understand, though, why you only brought up the pizza and not what brand of beer you were drinking.
I was actually drinking Phillips vodka.
There you go. I knew you weren't sitting up there by yourself, just hanging out, baby.
No. Because I was on a hunting trip, and I wasn't going to take the top shelf stuff out to the hunting thing. So I was having a little Phillips.
Some people say that the real adventure was the friends we made. So
I think it's true, Brittany, and I did make a new friend.
yeah, that's good. Did you have a good Thanksgiving all in all?
It was fine. Did you enjoy that new coat? Did you wear it around?
Plural.
Coats?
And I did, and you gave me a pack of gum in there, and I was really appreciative. So I gave you one piece of gum back.
I did not know there was a pack of gum in there.
Yeah, so I got I was pumped. So I don't even know how long ago, about like 6 or 7 months ago, you'd mentioned that you guys get new coats every so often. And so I was like, can I have your old news coat? And so one day Chris sent me a picture in the cubicles.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, hey, I left you something. And all of a sudden realization hit me, like, I'm going to have a news coat when I go into work.
Yep.
And so now all me and Justin do, because we have two, is we throw it at each other.
Yep.
Here live at dinner time with Margot. Margot, is the applesauce still delicious? So that's our household now.
Well, good. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Thank you so much.
If you see two people out in the streets impersonating KSTP
Is
news anchors,
Is that legal? Because somebody in the news department was telling me that might not be legal for me to be impersonating a news person.
that's not like a police officer or anything. You can go out there.
Unless you're in front of a camera impersonating one, I can't see how it would be a problem. But I don't know. I'll probably get in trouble for it.
Well, I'll say somebody else gave it to me.
I don't care. If that's what brings me down, then I guess I'll be at peace with that.
Highlight of our cul-de-sac. So thank you so much, Chris.
You're welcome.
The highlight of your cul-de-sac. I like that.
Yeah, we're pretty pumped.
I got to shine a little light on my cul-de-sac to get the highlight.
What?
That doesn't.
What about the low light?
What the hell are you talking about? The highlight of what?
It's cul-de-sac.
My cul-de-sac.
Are you on a cul-de-sac?
Yeah, I live in a cul-de-sac. We love our cul-de-sac. I have great neighbors. The whole shoot match. It's magnificent.
I love cul-de-sac life. I'd be living that cul-de-sac life for sure.
I'm telling you, we really, really enjoy it. Well, Brittany, you haven't come over for the Friday night sit out of all the neighbors. We get about 20, anywhere between 12 and 20 neighbors together Friday nights, and just sit out there in our chairs and in the cul-de-sac. It's wonderful.
So I rolled up on a Friday because Alex was going to put a car seat in for me. And you guys were setting up for it. And you were like, hey, will you get your pregnant butt out of here? You're embarrassing me. So I left. Yeah. You didn't think you had a chair that would support me. No, I was having contractions and I had the baby the next day. So I was like, I better go. Something weird's I go. I think I'm having cramps is what I said. I thought,
like I just had Thai food. Upset stomach.
It was so funny because then I texted Justin. I was like, I got cramps. I'm gonna go take a bath. And then he said, well, are the cramps coming in a certain amount of intervals? And I was like, yeah, like every 40 minutes. He's like, okay, so
get in here.
So let's go have a baby.
Oh, was very good. No, but it's just so great. Look, I mean, I lived in a house that was behind a fence and it was on an island. And all of a sudden we decided we're going to move into a neighborhood. I was very worried about that at first because with some people, I'm not that popular. I don't know if you guys know that or not.
Yeah, but look at you. You opened up your heart. You live in a sack. And now you have all these besties.
I have a lot of besties in that neighborhood there. Every person in that neighborhood is very, very nice, which is, I mean, what are the chances of that happening?
Wild.
Yeah. Hashtag sack life.
Sack life.
Say, and all of a sudden, that's not a cul-de-sac anymore. It's just a sack. Hey, Tom, you live in a sack. Yeah,
I've been trying to make sack happen for a while, and the neighbors are not into it. But
no,
I do like sack life. I might still.
Why don't they want to come over?
No, I'm saying like they don't like the term. We all hang out.
No, I don't like the term. Tevin, you like the term sack life?
I think it's fine.
Okay.
I encourage it for you to put it on a shirt or something like sack life.
Yeah. Loving that sack life. That'd be a cool.
But it's
Mr. Eggert, what's the latest in the news?
Travel numbers are in and more people flew and traveled than has ever happened. They've been keeping track there. So from the TSA.
I heard that, and that turned out to be true. That there was more travel than ever.
Yeah. Yes, ever. Because I was going to say before they've been keeping records, but before they're keeping records, it was like the Wright brothers. So I'm pretty sure nobody was traveling.
Only about 14 Americans.
2.9 million people were screened at airports, which is the highest number of people to go through security on a single day ever. That was on Sunday.
That is amazing. And everything went well. I didn't see a whole lot of problems.
There were some weather delays in parts of the country, which kind of threw things off a little bit. It doesn't take much. But I guess it wasn't one of those deals where like some of the airlines like have like a catastrophic failure and people are stranded and blah, 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 blah. And then the other thing we're following today is the big, the Wild firing their head coach, and they're holding a news conference at 9:00 this morning to introduce their new coach. So that's
what I love about looking at a screen with everybody on it. I can look at the exact spot where I need to get a reaction. And I looked at AJ and there was the reaction. It's like, yeah, baby.
Wait, I didn't realize they fired their coach. And how long ago did they fire him? And they already found somebody new?
Like they fired him yesterday and then announced by the end of the day who the head coach was.
Oh, okay. So I'm assuming it's somebody that's already on roster that they're just making an interim coach or no?
No. AJ, are you the hockey guy here? John Hines, not to be confused with the one that used to do radio in the Twin Cities here.
Wait a second. Is that the guy who does the Blue Cross Blue
No,
Shield?
no,
commercial?
different John Hines. Different John Hines.
He used to be my roommate. John Hines and I, my brother Terry, all lived together for a while. It was wonderful.
He was previously a head coach with Nashville and New Jersey.
Yes, and he was not great with really either one. They went
Great.
They're going from Dean Evison, who is a known non-playoff coach, never won a playoff series, to John Hines, who also, believe it or not, has never won a playoff series. So, yeah, I mean, it was weird. I'm glad they kind of got Bob Woods out of there because their penalty killing and power play has been atrocious, and he kind of was taking care of that in a sense. But yeah, it was very weird because it seems like they had this lined up before the announcement because it was like an hour and a half of a debrief in between, and then it was like, yep, hey, here we go. Not even interim, just the 7th coach in Minnesota Wild history, John Hines.
Yeah, that feels rushed, or that they were definitely working on some sort of framework of a deal before firing their previous coach.
Yeah.
Which is that tampering? Is that against the rules?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
I wouldn't think so. Why did they go after Lou Nanny?
Boy, I would love that.
I think his contract with Bally might prohibit that.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough money in the world to have Lou go back to the coaching world.
No, I
You don't think so?
either.
Can I tell you my very quick story? And I won't use the whole language, all the rest of it. But Jack Euster used to be the chairman of the board at Musicland. And Louis Nanny, I had never met him, or Francine, his lovely wife. His wife is wonderful. So he's the general manager of the North Stars at the time, way, way back. He invites me to have dinner, Jack Euster and his lovely wife. And so we have a little dinner, and then we sit down, and Mrs. Euster was between Louis Nanny and me. And we're having this nice conversation, but I can tell the whole time that Louis talking to her and me, he's constantly glancing at the ice to see what's going on, right? Well, he's a hockey player, hockey coach, hockey general manager, hockey president. You know, he did them all. So he's constantly looking over, and we're talking to her. And again, Jack Euster, one of the most, powerful guys in the state of Minnesota at the time, running the entire United States for Musicland. We're watching the game. And I'm, of course, sitting to her. So we're facing the ice. I'm on her right side. Louis on her left side. Louis looking over to his left. So he's looking at the ice, seeing what's going on. And apparently I didn't see it because my back, I was looking the other way, looking at her. But apparently somebody wound up and took a great shot at the goal, and it hit the pipe and didn't go in. And this is Louis. I will never forget that. I can't say what he said, but we're talking. He goes, so let me ask you a question. Do you do a lot of traveling? Or was it F? And he's about 2 inches from her face. He didn't like the fact that the goal didn't go in. I'll tell you that. The puck didn't go in the goal.
How did she react to that?
She sat back like, what? Then I started laughing, so she started laughing. Thank God she took it very, very well. But I mean, he's this far from her face. Louis, we love you, man. I love the whole Nanny family. No question about it. Oh, God, I will never forget her reaction. And I mean, he hollered it out. It wasn't just, oh, F. He was, F.
I would like to hear Lou Nanny swear. I don't know why that notion would bring me joy.
Well, my favorite thing that he says, because he has that his speech situation. I love it when he goes, yeah, Tommy, it's Lou. I was talking. I was going to call yesterday, and Jesus Christ, I forgot. Saying the name Jesus Christ with his deal. Jesus Christ. We have a lot of great figures like that in Minnesota. You got to admit, there are a lot of great figures like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
listen,
what else?
if we don't have great winning records or great coaches or great quarterbacks, at least we've got good, memorable figures around said sports, right?
True.
AJ, I got to ask you a question. Why would they hire another coach who has never won?
This is my problem with the NHL is because it's just the same carousel of the same guys getting fired and rehired, just going team to team to team. Make a splash. Like look for some former player. for instance, the Carolina Hurricanes, they went out and hired Rod the Bod Brindamore, and he has like reinvigorated that team because he's like a player's coach. He is like, he's aggressive, but he knows how to connect to them because he's still pretty recently removed from the game. I don't know. It's just John Hines. He doesn't really move the needle for me. I think the right move of letting go of Dean Evison to like get the room reinvigorated. You had to make a change, and that's the simplest thing. That's the right move. But I don't know if replacing him with John Hines as the permanent coach is the right following move. So we'll wait and see. But
this is going to be a problem for me because every time you say that now, I hear my friend John Hines going, Blue Cross Blue Shield was founded here in 1935. I didn't know that. And I was born
I
and
grew up
raised
here. I know every commercial break that's on, and that particular line, I will do it as he's doing it. It's
We should have John on the show as a
and
guest.
I grew
John.
up here.
I was born and grew up here. I didn't know that.
And I was thinking, yes, he did. I did not know that. Of course he knew that.
I didn't know
I'll tell you. What a man. That's all I have to say. We should get John Hines, the Minnesota John Hines, on the show sometime.
Let's get both of them and have like a John Hines sandwich.
I like it. We'll torture both of them. What do you think? All right, Buster, I suppose you better get in that newsroom. Once again, Hannah doesn't show up. I'm very upset. He goes, that's real nice. Really familial right there. Really friendly.
Well,
we don't need her on
I was
here.
going to say it's a big traffic day today, but I don't think it is, but that's fine.
She hates me now. That's what it is.
It's she's
turned on
offended
me.
by you, Tom. So put Hannah Conway on your list of people.
Yet
Who
another on the long
will not
list.
be joining you in the cul-de-sac or the sack, as Brittany likes to refer.
Yeah, we're not going with the sack. Sorry. Not going to. Even Cull. We're not going with Cull either.
Well, what do you want then? You just want to call
Cull
it.
means to take away, so you can't do that. And the
Well,
sack means. Okay, I'm going to run this by Chris before he leaves. See if you can tie these two names in. Okay, you ready? We have Amy Seeman and Charles Blow on the show today. Okay, so one last name is Seeman and one last name is Blow.
I don't.
You see no connection?
I'm not sure.
How about if I say this first? One name is Blow and one name is Seaman. Okay, he's playing innocent. Never mind.
What a poker face.
Yeah.
That was a really good poker face. He didn't even crack a little bit.
I mean, I've only been sitting here laughing like a 12-year-old over the word sack for the last 7 minutes.
You guys, it's spelled different. It's not that gross because it'd be SAC,
Right.
so it's not a big deal. Sack
Right.
And
I-
Roundabout.
everybody that knew that moves in, you're like, hey, come and join my sack.
Yeah.
Just get in the sack. Yeah.
Welcome to my sack, brah.
well, Tom, I hope you rise to the occasion for your guests today. And
Oh, we will.
Was that
Grow
another
up.
euphemism?
Grow
Rise.
up. Get out of here. Go
Well,
report the
he's
news. You
very
nerd.
good, Tevin. Well, now we
Rise,
have Blow,
Seaman,
Seaman,
yeah.
and Rise. So we have them all.
I'm a 12-year-old hidden in a 50-year-old man's body.
Hey, 49.
49.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, guys,
There you
have a
go.
good day.
Bye,
Thanks, Chris.
Chris.
Ladies and gentlemen, Channel 5's Eyewitness News, Chris Eggert. Again, I know I say it a lot, but he's one of my favorite people. Just a great. So he's 49.
Yep.
He's 49. He's got a birthday coming up, though.
Yep. And I'm trying to get invited, so that's why we.
Is it the 31st of this month or January? Or not?
31st of January.
Okay.
Tell him his birthday is the 31st of November because there's no such day. It'd be perfect.
There you go.
You're born on a day that doesn't exist.
I thought it was December already. That's my fault.
You know what, AJ? I've been fighting it hard to keep thinking. I keep thinking it's the end of December and not the end of November.
In my mind, as soon as Thanksgiving rolls around,
Yep.
November ends.
Yep.
Yes, everything after that is December.
Yep.
Absolutely true. So you're not alone in that one because I've been thinking it's still like, God, Christmas came and went really quickly. It's like, no, it's not even here yet, but it all works out in the end. Ladies and gentlemen, Channel 5's Chris Eggert is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation, 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. My friend Josh Arnold will take care of you. That's all I have to say. And by the way, I am getting so many emails from our listeners that went to the concert, the Eagles and the Doobie Brothers concert. We have, and I'm not trying to suck up to the listeners. I don't suck up to anybody. It's one of the reasons I've had such a bitch of a time in my life because I just don't do that kind of stuff. So when I tell you, oh, deeply honored by the nice emails I'm getting from everybody, you people are phenomenal. They just are. Our listeners are the best. You know what I mean?
They are the best.
And that, again, I don't suck up or kiss ass. I don't do that. So I'm not making it up just to sound, oh, you're such pleasant human beings. You know, that kind of crap.
Yeah.
I mean it sincerely. You people are very, very nice. There's no question about it. So I suppose we better take our break here and then come back in a couple of minutes because Amy's coming on in about 10 minutes, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. I'm looking forward to it. She's a wonderful person.
I know she loves you. It's so annoying because if I hang out with her, she's like, Tom this and Tom that. I go,
Yeah,
shut up.
You know, I've kind of found that in life from the time I was like literally 3 years old.
Yeah.
That people either really like me or they cannot stand me. There's nobody in the middle. It's really weird.
Who couldn't stand you as a 3-year-old? Like, what were you doing to piss people off?
I don't know. 3-year-olds can be pretty annoying.
You want to be around me at 3? I doubt it.
I know.
I had this voice. I was like, wow.
I want milk. Okay.
I want a bottle of milk. Get it in here right now.
Sippy cup me, bitch.
Next song.
That's so funny you remember that in Nikki. Next.
No, I guess I'm getting used to it. You just do. Because honest to God, it makes me laugh. God, you know, Tom, I love the show and you're such a great guy and everybody on the show is wonderful. Then when somebody, I wouldn't listen to you if you paid me. It's like, why do you need, who cares?
I
You
love
know what
it.
you do, right?
I love it when people are like, I would never listen to you, Brittany. Your voice is so annoying. And then they tell me every fact about myself. I'm like, okay.
You learned all
That's
that
a lie.
listening?
It's a flat out lie because I have said you annoy the hell out of me and I've never said I listen to you all the time.
True.
Looks like she
You
figured
made
out
that
your
up.
burner account that you've been messaging this show.
Exactly.
Termard. I can't even do it.
Bombs Termard. Yeah, that's a great name. Bombs Termard. Sounds like somebody played football in 1901. That's what it sounds like. To me, anyway. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back in just a couple of seconds because Amy will join us right at 9 o'clock. Amy Seeman, you're going to love her. She's a very, very sweet, very nice person. You have all helped support MyPillow and their employees in these tough economic times. Mike Lindell knows this and continues to give back to listeners with great deals on his most popular products. Right now, you can save 50% on Queen and King pillows. The original My Slippers and the MyPillow 6-pack bath towel sets are back in stock. The proprietary technology makes them extremely absorbent, yet still provides that soft feel you look for in a towel. The set comes with 2 bath towels, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths. Regular price is $79.98, and for a limited time, you can get the 6-pack towel set for only $39.99 with promo code TOM. That, by the way, is a 50% savings. You're going to want that. So, you know. So go to mypillow.com, use promo code TOM to save 50%. Again, just say my name. You'll save 50% on your purchase. MyPillow 6-pack towel sets, that is just $39.99 for a set. This deal will not last long. Enter promo code TOM for this special and many more.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
All right. Hey, Tom is all right, here we go. Tom is so happy to welcome back our longtime friends, Sabre Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning to the show. He knows Steve, the owner, for many years, and he completely trusts Sabre to keep that house comfortable. Why? Because Sabre does everything the right way, and they always put the customer first. He loves the team at Sabre, and I know I do too, because the service experts are experienced NATE certified technicians. They're not salespeople. The pricing is completely upfront, and they fix only what needs to be fixed, nothing more. Sabre is dedicated to giving customers what they need when they need it and at the fair price, keeping your family safe and comfortable without breaking the bank. Give Sabre Heating and Air Conditioning a try. I know that they'll take care of you, just like they take care of Tom and his family. I know I am going to be making a call here in the next week or so as well. Whether you need a new Bryant furnace or air conditioner.
And what's nice about Sabre too is you can trust the people that come in your house. I've used
Once
Sabre
you settle
many
down.
times. What's nice is I actually was on a walk both times. Sorry, I know you know who you are. I'm sorry. And they were able to call me, and I gave them my garage code. They came in, and it felt like I didn't have to worry about who was coming to my house, and they had access, and they were lovely. And they like dogs, which I appreciated because again,
Hey,
I was
AJ.
not home because I forgot they were coming. So Sabre, love them. You want them in your house.
And I know, Tom, you love Sabre Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, correct?
Yeah, and I won't have an echo on my voice when I read it. That was echoing like a madman. What was that all about?
I think you only heard that.
Oh, you think that because it stopped right at the very end, so that was good.
Okay.
I got to figure that out. Maybe it's probably on my end, I would guess. I am so happy. But thank you, Brittany. Thank you for doing that. It was very, very nice of you. I am so happy to welcome back our longtime friend, Sabre Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning to the show. I've known Steve, the owner, for many years, and I do completely trust Steve. He's a wonderful guy, and his wife's even better than he is. So there you go. Why? Sabre does everything the right way, and they always put the customer first. I love the team at Sabre because their service experts are experienced NATE certified technicians. They're not salespeople. Their pricing is completely upfront, and they fix only what needs to be fixed and nothing more. Sabre is dedicated to giving customers what they need when they need it and at the fair price, keeping your family safe and comfortable without breaking the bank. Give Sabre Heating and Air Conditioning a try. I know they'll take care of you just like they've taken care of me and my family. Whether you need a new Bryant furnace or air conditioner replaced or just simply need a service call to get you going again, go to saberheating.com. That is SABRE heating.com. Sabre and Bryant, whatever it takes. Yeah, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Amy, you got to hang out with better people. You see what I'm saying?
Brittany. Our energies really match.
I know it's chaotic.
What?
We're both very excitable and like walk up to people with like a creepy grin. Like that's our vibe.
Yep.
Actually, you guys could be relatives. There's no question about that, especially with your hairstyle.
Thank you. Thank you.
You see what I'm saying?
I would love to claim her as a sister.
I do anyways. That's how I get into places. I say,
God.
Amy's my sister.
Could you guys push your mic a little closer?
Yeah, I was just going to do that.
That'd be great. Thanks very much. And, you look like a professional now.
Oh, great. Thank you.
A lot of places that, they'd have done that before we went on the air. But, apparently this entire generation is lazy as hell, Amy. That's all I have to say.
That's it. I'm
You
lazy.
tell them to
as
do
hell.
everything. You can do what?
I said, that's it. I'm just so lazy.
There's no question about it. It's just a given. So, Amy, I met you about a year ago. Maybe was it longer than that?
It was about exactly this time last year.
No, there's an echo on.
I think that was my fault.
Stay muted.
I
yeah.
tried to pretend like I knew what I was doing and just hit the unmute.
Oh yeah, no, those different.
I took your compliment that I look like a professional a little bit
I
too
wish
far.
you
And actually
would.
just took it all into my
Okay,
head.
Amy, it's another tutorial for you guys at work there. People have not been on it, so you have to tell them everything they need to do, not just have them sit down. And
Also, don't unplug your microphone. Don't turn the lights off. Don't go flip the breakers downstairs. Don't just leave. I think that covers it.
If there's a
you need to do
fire,
that.
follow us.
Right. Yeah. Don't stay. In the case of an emergency, hide under the table. Oh, did we cover it all?
Honest to God, 25 years of this, and this takes the cake so far. I will tell you that.
Yeah, last time I actually did talk to you, Tom, you were about to retire. And here we are.
No, I wasn't retiring. That was a flat out lie. Those bastards over there told.
Oh,
They
wait,
knew I
wait.
was never
Good,
going to
now
retire.
I get the real story.
No, I mean, I don't know what, I agreed to, after 37 years, walked away with a zero payout, and they still tried to F me over. That's how wonderful those people are.
Oh.
Well,
There you go.
welcome to the pod.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you mean they've done that to other people?
I mean, I'm the only person who ever got to turn my key fob in at that place. So,
I still have mine.
oh, let's go. Let's go drink their coffee.
Yeah, that was so good. Anyway, let's get back to Amy. This is the important stuff, Amy.
Yes.
We did meet, and you do some wonderful work. 12 Moms of Christmas, Newgate Schools enlist the help of local dealerships and influencers every December. Please don't refer to me as an influencer. I'm glad you didn't bring my name up when you said that. Thank you very much. Surprise. Now this is my favorite part. They get together every December to surprise 12 single moms with a car stuffed full of gifts. Brilliant idea. Amy, did you come up with the idea?
I did not. I wish I could claim that. I did not, but I was one of the first influencers to be part of the program. So this is my 4th year being involved. Newgate Schools has a program called Wheels for Women throughout the year, where as a single mom, you can apply for a vehicle. And then in December is when they pull in some influencers and dealerships to do 12 in a row with 12 single moms. So it is, if I do nothing right the rest of the year, this is like the one thing that I can truly like hang my hat on. And it is the most humbling and just beautiful experience that I get to be a part of.
Now, how do you decide who the 12 moms are going to be?
So there is an application process they go through. I have no part in the selection of that. But in terms of the criteria, they have to be the head of the household, and they have to have at least one dependent. They need to either be working full-time or in school for full-time, or a combination of both. And they have to make less than $35,000 a year. I mean, think about that. Supporting that's what I made my first job out of college. And I felt like I couldn't even support myself, let alone children. So there's a huge need here. And then they also cannot currently own a vehicle or even have like readily accessible access to a vehicle in their household.
You know, when I came over last year, I will never forget, just me showing up made 2 women cry. And at first I thought it was because they didn't want to talk to me, but then it turned out they were being nice to me. It was so sweet. Honest to God, Amy, I'm not kidding you. It was such a sweet, wonderful day.
It was. It absolutely was. It is every year. These women, just their stories stay with me. Their faces stay with me. This is my 4th year being involved. This year we decided, in the past, we wanted it to be a surprise. We were just kind of shooting in the dark in terms of what their needs might be, kind of guessing gender of their children. We just knew ages and that was it. And this year we really said, like, let's make it a bit more impactful. So we put together a short survey of just like some of their specific needs, sizing, etc. The thing that is so, just humbling is we ask the question of like, aside from a vehicle, what is one thing on your Christmas wish list? And I get emotional talking about it, but both of them, I have 2 cars that I'm specifically sponsor. Across the board though, they all said, I just want a little breathing room financially. I want my kids to be healthy. I want to be caught up on my bills. One of the moms is diabetic and she's like, I have a hard time getting to the pharmacy to get my medication. The other mom is pregnant with her 3rd on the way. And she's like, I can't get to doctor appointments. The winter is coming. They spend half of their income on Ubers and buses. That's a consistent theme across all of these 12 moms.
Wait, one second. Just 1 second. They spend half their income on transportation?
Yes.
That's
Think about how many places you go in a day.
Yeah. Especially with kids.
With kids. And if you are relying on an Uber, and in some cases, depending on where they live in relation to where they work, they have a hard time even getting an Uber. So then you show up late.
Yeah. Or especially like in emergency situations, if the kids fever spikes, that's terrifying.
Terrifying.
And then you don't know what car seat you're putting in there and their car and all that stuff. I mean, that's
fit. And
Tom, I remember last year, it was me, me and Tom were both raised by single moms.
Yeah.
And I was shopping with my mom and I had gotten a hold of Tom and you guys had connected and we listened to you on air with Tom and me and my mom are in the parking lot because we were about to go Christmas shopping, bawling and go sleeping in the back. And we're both just like, what a special thing. And I think if you don't think about it, that's just such an undertaking for anybody to ask them. Sure. It's just so much. Yeah. And like, I don't know. It just really hits.
Yeah.
Man.
And last year, one of the moms had been in the last 6 months was homeless. And she finally was able to get a roof over their head. And she said every day she kept looking at their tree, being like, how am I going to afford to put anything under the tree for these kids? These kids are young. They still believe in the magic of Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so she reached out to Toys for Tots and her school, and nobody had gotten back to her. And then she showed up to get this vehicle, and it was stuffed to the brim of gifts. And she just sobbed and I sobbed. And then with Tom, you were so generous in thinking about gas money, because now you have a vehicle, but they have to be insured. So you have to pay insurance. You have to pay for gas.
Yeah.
You have to think about, if I blow a tire,
I know,
if I get into an accident, someone breaks my window, like how are you going to also afford the maintenance of a vehicle? And Tom, you thought about how much would it cost on average a year in gas money, and you provided that. And when I gave them this, one woman literally fell to her knees sobbing. Like, that's how impactful this is.
All right, cut it out.
I know.
Like, I'm about to start crying in here. Like, who's cutting onions?
You know what? It's so hard, especially if you're
Yeah.
paying rent. Like, getting an apartment is hard. We don't realize how hard it is because like sometimes you forget. And then to add on, it's just so much.
Well, and one of them said, I need to get my credit back up. Because
Yeah.
think about it. Like there's just so many things that I feel. And I think this season it hit me even harder than years past as I started reading through their applications. Because I think with, I'm on social media a lot because that is part of my job. And it is so easy to get caught up in this consumption, right? Like everybody has the newly remodeled kitchens and everybody's doing the try-on sessions with the boxes of new clothes that they bought. And sometimes I find myself feeling like it's not enough. And this just like, when I started reading these, I get on my Instagram and I am ugly crying going, you guys, this is such a moment to take a step back and think of how much we have to be grateful for and all the little things that we take for advantage.
Yeah.
And that is what my holiday season has been about. And I'm able to then like help bring that back to my children. They get very involved in this process as well. We talk about it all the time.
One thing I got to mention is it all started at the very beginning when Amy started talking, and the first time her voice cracked and was like, oh God.
I know.
I am a crier. I know.
I am too.
I was like, this is the season where if you turn onto my Insta stories, you're just going to see me ugly crying because I am not a pretty crier. But I am shameless and just these are real feelings. And it is hard not to get very emotionally involved in these women's lives.
And isn't that what this season's really all about? Yes, the kids love getting the gifts, but for adults, they go, I don't care for Christmas anymore. Why? Because you're not getting gifts. Maybe it's your turn to turn around and give instead of
Yep.
And
the other thing too, I think that it does is it gives them hope, right? They think, okay, somebody cares. Somebody cares enough to do this for me. They also, one thing that's always been really important for me as I start to look at like, how can I help? It's not just, like you said, it's not just having the gifts, and it's how do we set them up for success in the new year? So I always look for donated services. So one of the moms is finishing school and the other's goal is to start her own business. So I connected with my friend, Brittany Habor, who is a life and career coach, and she's donating her services to these women. Like, think about that. That's huge for them. Even like family photography, that's a luxury that they cannot afford. And because they are single moms, they don't have anyone to go, here, you get in the picture. Let me take that for you. So my friends at Profeshi, we're setting up a whole day and we're going to do a photo shoot with all the moms and their children. And just like things like that, and it's like meal planning services. I've worked with a financial planner in the past. So all of those services, I think really, again, just give them hope. And then my favorite thing ever is when I get notes from them, like they always have my number. You can, reach out. I love to keep in touch. And I would get a text like a year later, and she's like, I finally got my esthetician license and I'm now able to like work because I can get like those things. It's like that mattered and that made a difference in their lives. And here they are a year later in a completely different spot.
Isn't that just wonderful? See, this is what I love about Christmas. A very quick story that it was growing up as a boy. I always tell my mother, someday when I become successful, I'm going to give you a lot of money. And she said, okay, Tom. She's going, yeah, okay. We're living, on Plymouth and Bryant at the time. And she's like, yeah, sure you will. No, I mean, she was very sweet about it. But many, many years, thank God for the luck that I've had and all the rest of it. I gave my mother a very large check. I mean, it was a lot of money, right? Mm-hmm. She said, I don't need this money. I said, that's not the issue. I promised you years ago I would do this and I want to do it. So I'm doing it. And she turned around and gave all of it away to women in need. That's why I just teared up.
Yeah.
It reminded me my mother took all of the money and gave it away to people who needed it. That's the kind of woman who raised me.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even imagine if, first of all, my mother didn't drive, so the car, she would have given that away too.
Can you imagine though, her life, like Tom thinking about her getting on that bus or like heading to work an hour early and then waiting for the bus. Like your mom worked her ass off for things other people just kind of take advantage of. I mean, things you don't think about is getting to work sometimes.
Yeah.
That inspired me, but that's why things like 12 Moms of Christmas are so important to me, because this really does need to happen. And I'm really glad you stepped up. Yep. All of you stepped up and got this done. People do not really realize, if you're living out in Whispering Acres and you got a lot of dough, you don't realize it's not just people, that are on this program or that program, or the people need your help. And if one of us could pick one of them and take care of them, that'd be a great way to do that.
Yeah.
To me, anyway, what you're doing is the perfect way to actually help these moms.
Yeah. And I think sometimes too, another theme is they've said, like one of the moms, she's, it's like, where do you see yourself in a year? And one of them said, I want to use my voice to help other women to know it's okay to ask for help. And I think that is something, and Brittany, you can probably attest to this as well. As women, sometimes it is really hard to ask for help. And so I think that's another misconception. Sometimes it's like these women are trying so hard.
Yep.
They're trying to do it themselves as best they can. But everybody needs help every now and again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think so. It's the wonderful thing, as I said, about this season. Used to be a wonderful thing about being an American. Americans used to be very, very giving, and apparently, in some cases, they still are, but not like they used to. I don't know. The world right now, particularly seeing your name on the list this morning, Amy, was great for me because people are so mean right now, and I don't know why they want to be that way. And to have someone like you in studio talking about 12 Moms of Christmas, it elevates my spirits, makes me happier this time of the year. I know don't watch Fox or CNN because you won't see them on there. There are really decent people still in the world. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah. And I think, one thing that I did personally this year is I am a personal shopper and fashion stylist. So this season, when there's the sales everywhere, I tend to just go ham on buying for myself. And this year I was like, this weekend, I am not buying a single thing for myself. And I'm going to put all my energy into creating an Amazon registry list so that people can shop from there. I'm finding where the sales are and I'm posting saying, this mom could use this child could use that. And every single thing, it was like immediately someone would buy it. And that just made me feel so good because I remember seeing videos back in like the early 2000s, Black Friday, and people are, mulling over each other and fighting for a TV. And it's like this year, I do feel like there are so many good people that are willing to say, you know what, instead of shopping for me, I'm going to shop for someone else this year that could use it more.
It is a wonderful thing. I need to mention this. The deadline to donate is December 10th. They can Venmo. By me, I'm talking about Amy here. It's not me.
Tom slips his Venmo in there.
Venmo me all your cash, and then talk about helping people out, and then steal your money. That'd be great. They can Venmo. I'm sorry, I can't even get this out. Amy at Amy-Seeman, Seeman, or email her at mamaseeman@gmail.com with questions or an opportunity to contribute. Again, the deadline to donate is December 10th. So that's only not less than 2 weeks away, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, we are coming down to the wire. I think the biggest unmet needs right now specifically are experiences. So that's something that both of the moms had mentioned that they would love to be able to do. Like take their kids are 3 and 6. So burning off energy, right? So
Nickelodeon world.
like unlimited wristbands to Nickelodeon, Minnesota Zoo membership, Urban Air, Sky Zone, any of that, play cafes, that stuff is huge. And then grocery gift cards is another one. And of course, cash. So my goal is always to save as much of the cash as I can to give them in cash and then collect all like goods and toys just from what people have donated. So that's kind of where I'm at right now of what I need specifically the most help with in the next 10 days or less.
Do you remember when this happened and what it was that inspired you to do this?
It was actually 2020 was the year that I got involved. So it was right during the pandemic. And Apollo's is the dealership that I work with specifically. And they reached out to me and it was just like an immediate hell yes. Like I will absolutely do this. And then after being there and experiencing it, I was like, every single year, please ask me. I want to do this. And it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And our impact is larger. The awareness around it is larger. I did have a little bit of a breakdown last week where I was feeling so stressed because I set goals for myself of how much I want to raise every year. And I was like, I'm only halfway to my goal. And my husband said, I know, honey, you get stressed about this every year. And I said, you know what, though? I will take this stress. I will take this stress for these moms because imagine the stress they have every single day. Let me stress about their holidays. I will take that and do that for them.
Now we're going to have to invite a prick in to balance the thing. I tell you, honestly, God, it's so great to have you in studio. And by the way, I got to mention this quickly. I grew up a nice Catholic boy in North Minneapolis. And when you said Appalato, I thought you were talking about some Italian kid's grandfather.
Apple Auto. I know when you first said it, I was like, oh, yeah.
Appalato's coming in. So,
Yeah. It did sound like that.
Look, I mean, to have 5 people tearing up, sitting in the studio for something real. These are not fake tears and fake emotions. These are real emotions because we all know either we've been through it or we all know people who have been through it. And all you ever hear of is that we're going to help this person, we're going to help that person. Does it ever happen? I don't know. I hope it does. But things like this, 12 Moms of Christmas, and particularly at this time of year.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you personally. Because when I tune on the news at night, I can only watch it for about 2 minutes. The national news, I can watch 2 minutes of Fox and 2 minutes of CNN. I can't stand either one of them, so I watch local news, which is a lot better. But this time of the year, for all the hatred going on in the world right now, it's people like you that make this holiday season very, very special.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me and just giving me access to your listeners and this platform to share more about this story and how everyone can help.
Well, thanks again for making me cry.
Yeah, right.
You're welcome. We can make this a regular Tuesday thing if you want.
It was so great. I just saw my wife outside the door because I can see her go by, and I couldn't hear her, but I know she was going, you know what else happened? She's teasing me. Damn it. But in any case, Amy, come back and by the way, if you the deadline to donate is December 10th. So if you'd like to make another appearance and ask people to send, we'd love to have you.
Wonderful. I will take you up on that. Absolutely.
All right, Brittany, you got full control of this, don't you?
Oh, I love it. I love crying at 9 a.m. Crying like a baby. I got to get a Kleenex during this break. Oh my God.
I know, but you know what? This is good. This is good to see and good to hear for people because you watch the news and it's nothing but meanness and hatred. And I'm sick to death of it.
And
I
Tom,
really am.
all I want to do, and I'm sorry to say this because I know you could always get mad at me, but like, I just want to call my mom and be like, you are so tough. You are so strong. She never made us worried about like if Santa, I always knew Santa was going to bring me gifts. And like, my mom was a teacher, and had 3 kids and like, who can make that kind of magic with that? And I never knew any of the stuff that she went through. And so when I think about it, I always go, I got to call my mom and say thanks. So, yeah.
Oh yeah. And I can close with the same kind of feeling, not trying to one up anybody or whatever, just talking about what really happened in life.
Yeah.
I would watch my mother every month sitting down at the kitchen table, weeping because she couldn't pay the bills.
Oh.
And for people who've never seen that kind of thing, it's very hard to watch.
Yeah.
It inspired me to get off my ass and do something in life. And then I ruined her life by going into radio. But
there's that. We both are huge disappointments.
Exactly. Well, doctor, lawyer, disc jockey. That's great. That's
okay,
wonderful.
cool. You're going to really make a difference out there.
Amy, I adore you. You're a wonderful person. We need a lot more people like you. 12 months. 12 months. Yeah. It should be 12 months of Christmas. 12 Moms of Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. And how do they reach out to you again, Amy?
You can follow along on the story on my Instagram, which is at Mama, M-A-M-A, and then Seeman, S-E-E-M-A-N. That's where I do all the ugly crying, but I also do share the day of, and just so that you can feel a bit connected to how the moms received all of these gifts. And then again, Venmo or email is a perfect way to connect. If you have a business that you want to, that you think would donate or you want to get involved. One thing I've been challenging people is if your team typically does something for a holiday, for a family, this is an amazing cause to get behind. Collect goods, go over your lunch break, go shopping together at Target, bring it to me. One thing I will say is it does not need to be wrapped if you are going to donate gifts. We do it color coordinated by car, so nothing gets mixed up. But yes, so email me if you have questions on where to drop things off, or if you want to donate a service. And then if you just want to donate cash that is absolutely needed, I mean, even just $5 to $25 adds up.
And they can do that where?
You can do that at Venmo. So it's at Amy-Seaman. Yep.
And I'll post it on our socials too.
That's a wonderful thing. Amy, come back before Christmas.
I will. I would love to. Thank you.
Or before December 10th, I guess would be even better because December 10th is the deadline to donate. Thank you, my dear. Great to see you again.
You too.
And thanks for making me cry. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I'm such a tough guy here. We got to take a break. We'll be right back.
This is the Tom Barnard Show. Listen live at tombarnardshow.com or on the Tom Barnard Show app.
Is that text you're sending so important that you miss your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Recently, Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC was contacted by a company that does on-site sales. Jim was confused.
Wait, they don't know anything about us, our staff, our reputation, most importantly, our customers.
Hey, pal, no problem. We do them all over the country. You know, get the manager off the roof sale, inflatable gorilla sale, and our favorite, the 13-hour sale with a giant clock that goes to 13. Urgency, baby. We bring our crew because, well, your people are, let's just say, a little laid back.
And the pricing?
Nothing special, sport.
But Jim thought we price competitively every day. Our prices are special. We definitely don't need these guys. But sale does convey some urgency, so we made a bold decision for his fine dealerships.
Announcing the Valley Buick GMC 365-day sale. And we can even extend it a couple years or so.
I got the air dancer guy, scratch-offs, plastic keys, bubble machine.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley or Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Hurry.
Before you head back to one of the big box stores for your hunting and shooting needs this season, do yourself a favor and visit My Choice, K&L Surplus and Ammo in Lino Lakes. Not only does K&L have one of the widest selections of firearms and ammo in the Twin Cities, they also do business the right way. They want to make sure that you have the right firearm and the right ammo for your needs. Jim, the owner, has over 25 years of experience in the business and will help you find what you need at a fair price. Speaking of prices, a lot of stores are using inflation and supply shortages as an excuse to raise prices on ammunition. Not K&L. Jim's doing everything to hold the line on pricing so you can spend more time on the range. Find out for yourself why K&L Surplus and Ammo has been the choice of gun owners for over 25 years. Go in and chat with Jim in person at the store on Lake Drive in Lino Lakes or online at klgunstore.com. klgunstore.com. And I like how you flip everybody around there like after every break and move into different spots. I like it. Are you guys there? There you go.
Yeah, we had a little with Amy coming in with the 5-person rotation. I wanted to get things back to where people maybe usually expect them to be.
Little musical chairs.
Yeah.
Why don't you move them to the right, though, so they're in front of you, not me?
You move us off screen, Tom says.
Move us. Thank you again, Brittany. I know you teed that up and set that whole thing up. That was very, very special. And particularly this time of year, I'm thinking about my mother, and I'll be thinking about her all day now because of you.
Oh, Tom, I feel exactly the same way. I gave her a big hug when she left, and I'm like, I got to think of ways to help her out because it's such an important program. So I'm going to try to think of some creative ways because it's just, it's so cool.
Let me know when Charles is ready to go, if you would.
Yep, we'll do. I'm still waiting on the call.
Not a problem. We'll take care of it. So that was pretty interesting because I was looking at the screen and I kind of leaned back because I did get choked up. There's no question. And I'm looking up. I wasn't the only one getting teary-eyed, I'll tell you that.
I instantly will cry when you're talking about single moms. And you know what I was thinking about when you mentioned? You have this weird, Tom, you probably feel this way. Like, especially if you have a kid, you're like, I'm supposed to have it all together. And I'm not supposed to ask for help. It's just like you've never felt so vulnerable, but you've also feel like you have to take it on yourself. And it's just like, that's just not the case. Like sometimes a little bit of help will get you so much farther in life, but it's hard to ask for help.
Yeah, well, and especially when she was talking about, the one lady that she kept in contact with that became like an esthetician. And it's like, this one moment could potentially break the cycle of negative things that keep, weighing somebody down, and now you're able to, get out from underneath it for good.
Being in debt or being like in the court system when you're trying to like fix your life is so hard to get out of. Like you just sometimes need that little bit of push. And I'm not saying like everybody in the court system wants to get better, but the people that want to, sometimes it's really hard if you are driving without tabs and then you have like a parking and it's just like you just can't get out of it. And it's so hard. And I don't think people realize that there are people out there that are like living paycheck to paycheck. So one parking ticket can really just mess everything up. And it's just, it's that time of year. I do think it would feel better to give something there than, like she said, there's moments where I'm like, oh, I'll buy a gift for, my sister and a gift for me. And it's like, no, I think I got to focus on some of this stuff like going forward.
But that's a wonderful thing. And you learned that from your mother, I'm sure.
Oh, my mom has the biggest heart in the whole. Okay, can we be done? I'm so done.
All right, never mind. Never mind.
She's just so good. And
I adore your mother, though.
My mom always shows up for everybody. And I just, she's so good. And I don't want to talk about it anymore.
I don't want to be positive about my mother. Forget it.
I love her so
much. I'll tell you
much.
something, Brittany. My mom's been gone since 2008. 2008 was not a good year for me. I will tell you that because the economy collapsed and my mother died. That was a real thrill.
That's not the one you want.
It's not the one so 15 years later, I still think of her every day. No question about it. The stuff that she gave up so her children could live a better life. It's kind of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, you went through periods when your mom was on her own, right?
Nope.
Oh, you never did? Oh, I thought she did for a while.
When I was like probably super little, but for the most part.
Oh, so when you were very, very young.
Yeah, but no, not anything that like I have any memory of.
So then you ruined some other guy's life. That's what you're saying.
Correct. Yep.
You just dropped the ball, and that's all there is to it. And,
No, I have no sob stories. My childhood was pretty good growing up.
So. No, these are not sob stories, you pill.
Yeah, they are. You're literally crying while telling the stories. I think that's by definition a sob.
You're a sob story.
Yeah.
Your face is a sob story.
She's turning on you now, Tevin. No question about it. But it's so special to know that there are people. Again, we talked about this several times on the show, but in the past 2 years, and I'm not one of those, and it's because of Trump and it's because of Biden. I don't do that bullshit. There are many, many different factors. But compared to 2 years ago, poor families, all families, but poor families among them are paying $9,000 a year more for the goods and services they need. $9,000 in just a 2-year period is a hell of a lot of money.
It's just so much, and everything went up except our salaries. And it's like, it's like, what? How can you expect people to live? It's just, we're not living in a world. And then it's like, how can you expect people to own a house someday?
Right.
Right. Yeah. And like, because I was looking at it too, where you get people that they go, oh yeah, I'm raising, 3 kids, I have a house and all these, and you're doing what on the same amount of money? Like I can't barely get by. You're now responsible for 3 other living beings. Like absolutely not.
I know.
But some people just walk away from it, and it causes a lot of problems, man.
Oh, terrible, right? Like these women are out here fighting, and some people, you're right, just walk away.
It's true. You good to go, AJ?
Yeah, we are all set.
Ladies and gentlemen, our very special guest, the HBO documentary film South to Black Power. The release date is today, I do believe. Yeah, it is the 28th today. Good. I wanted to make sure that our special guest, Charles Blow. How you doing, Charles?
I'm well. How are you?
Ooh, I cannot hear him at all. Charles, could you speak a little bit? Just make sure we get a good volume on you.
I'm well. How are you?
You're a good man. Now you sound perfect, Charles. I'm doing very, very well. And I'll get this out of the way very quickly. So are you related to Curtis?
I am not. That is his stage name. Strange.
I know, but I thought maybe you were related anyway. Charles, this is an interesting idea, and I got to tell you something. By coincidence, and I'm kind of glad that it turned out this way. The timing of it's perfect, because I just drove from Minneapolis to the Deep South, and driving through the Mississippis and Georgia and a bunch of different states. Charles Blow, a journalist, commentator, and op-ed columnist for the New York Times, a political analyst for MSNBC, New York Times columnist. Charles Blow is the subject of the film, the HBO documentary film South to Black Power. You were really encouraging African Americans, Black people everywhere to move to the South. It's an interesting idea, Charles. How'd you come up with this idea?
Yeah, I guess the thing that sparked my interest was reading about how this had worked in Vermont. And in the 70s, two law students at Yale published this paper in the Yale Law Review, telling all the young hippies who were protesting against the Vietnam War, like, this is not the way to do it. If you really want power, you have to get it on a state level. You have to take over a state. They call it radical federalism. And they proposed Vermont. So nobody really saw this in a law review. And so a writer for Playboy, of all places, picks it up and writes this thing about, telling young people, take over Vermont. And some people were already moving there as part of the Back to the Land movement, but people moved. And thousands of these young white hippies moved to Vermont. And they transformed the state of Vermont from one of the most liberal states, it's the most conservative states in the country, to now one of the most liberal states in America. It is where Barack Obama won his largest percentage of the white vote in 2008. It is incredibly liberal. And they did this. They transformed an entire state. And I figured if they could do this, it can be done for Black people as well, to just simply not to set up something new, but to reestablish something, because 3 southern states were already majority Black at the end of the Civil War, and 3 others were within 8 percentage points. The only reason they lost those majorities because they were, white terror kind of ran them away from the South.
God, what an amazing story. Black Americans should move back to the South to create majority Black states to reclaim the land, political representation, and culture that they left behind. Could you do me another favor, Charles, if several Black people do move to the South? Because I just drove through the South, as I said. And at one point I got out of my car and I was gassing up the car, and I go in to, buy a bottle of water or whatever. And I came out and there were 2 guys, both white guys, standing by their truck. And I couldn't understand one damn word they were saying, Charles. So could you improve on that? I'm telling you, Charles, I'm not kidding. He's like, what a hold on. I'm like, what the hell? I could not understand one word they were saying, Charles. I need help.
Listen, I lived in New York for 23 years. If I drove into certain parts of Long Island, I couldn't understand what they were saying.
That's very true. It's an interesting idea. And as you pointed out, Charles, it's already been done. No, I got to ask you this one question. I still get to show up in the South, don't I?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Even when you face majority Black, they were majority Black by 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 percentage points.
Right.
So half were there were white. So it's not about creating exclusionary racial zones. It is about trying to figure out a way that you have enough power that you can eliminate white supremacy as a systemic issue in the country, right? So if you can figure out ways to make sure your criminal code and your criminal justice system can be devoid or at least rinsed of these systems, you have a better shot at things. It is not about Black majoritarianism as as kind of a cudgel to use against other people to make sure that the other people are not elected or not represented or not present. Absolutely not. In fact, it is a misnomer about the idea of integration and multiculturalism that people only believe that they can exist when white people are in the majority. If Black people are in the majority, but there are other people present, it is also multicultural.
Mm-hmm. Charles, let me ask you a question about the situation. Right now, my perception as I watch the national news, I watch a lot of local news as well, but I go back and forth between, the far left and the far right channels, and I try to float around and find everything. The impression I'm getting, Charles, from all of those news channels, newspapers, local news, not so much local news, but national stories, it's always about money now. Everything's about money. Am I wrong about that?
but it's always been about money.
Yeah, but it's big time now. It's like every move they make is to make $1. There's nothing. I mean, if somebody, Charles, I hate to say this, but I grew up.
The entire architecture of enslavement was about money.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't understand. There were some justifications used that were racial to support this economic structure. That they tried to dehumanize the people that they were using to make the money, so that you could treat them horribly because they weren't human in the same way. This is what Martin Luther King called the thingification of the Negro.
Right.
They did that, but it was really about money. There was tremendous amount of wealth that was being produced in the American South because of enslaved Black people, and no one wanted to give that up.
That is such an amazing thing that has been going on. And I guess maybe, Charles, what I'm saying is it's so blatant now. At least they used to try to hide it. Maybe they did. I don't know. I mean, you would know a lot more about that than I. But now it's just so blatant. It's like the only reason they're doing this is to pocket a bunch of money for themselves. It's really sad.
Right. I think that there is the economic rationale, which is a lot of people involved just on that side of things. But also I think that has existed for a very long time. So you take the period after enslavement, there were a lot of working class white people, farmers who did not own slaves, or didn't own very many of them, who were not a planter class who owned a lot of slaves. And what they were trying to do, what the rich people were trying to do, is to make sure that these planters who didn't have a lot, didn't align themselves with the newly freed Black people and outnumber them. So they basically started to see this idea of racial superiority in those poorer white people, to say, you may be broke, but at least you're not Black. And maybe in the end, you have a shot at one day being us. So you need to help us to maintain this architecture that suppresses Black people. So that economic motivator is always mixed into the stew.
Well, I don't think there's any question about that.
Oh, and Charles, if I could, I have a question for you. So I've lived in the South, have family down south, Louisiana, Baton Rouge area. So if we're all going to pack up and move down there, I'm on board. I got my area picked out. But the Black community is definitely very skeptical whenever you say, hey, we're all going to go do this. Do you get a lot of pushback when you're talking to people that are like, well, why do we all have to move, to the South? Can we accomplish the things that you're trying to accomplish by, staying where we're at?
Absolutely. Most Black people did not move during the Great Migration. There will always be people, really smart people, who advocate against it. The Great Migration had not started when Frederick Douglass died, but the Exeter movement, which was people moving to Kansas, did start. And Frederick Douglass was very much against people migrating out of the Deep South, because he believed in what I believe now, which is that the greatest political strength will be in your numbers in those states. And I love Frederick Douglass, right? So there'll always be smart people who have a counter argument. There will always be people who have a reason, a rationale not to move. I believe that is healthy and legitimate. I'm not arguing with that. I'm simply saying that there are people who understand that they want to move. They don't feel safe, valued where they are. They do not feel like they can progress where they are. And there is an option for those people. And I am trying to present that option to those people.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Tom.
No, go ahead, Tevin.
Oh, no, because I was just saying, then obviously kind of in the grand scheme of things would be kind of getting back to the days of like a Black Wall Street where you're supporting Black business. That's something that you would say, recommend, doing now, as opposed to people that didn't want to move, or I guess what would be your overall kind of structure for the plan of executing this be?
Well, I mean, the Black Wall Street, a lot of those things existed as cities, right? So that was in Tulsa. There were very prosperous cities and towns around the South that met a lot of resistance, and some of them met their demise because of white people's terror and jealousy. But what I say to people about this is that's different is there are no cities in the Constitution. Like, I'm literally trying to use constitutional power for the purpose of equality. Half of the power in the country is reserved for the states. That's why it's called the United States of America, because the states have half the power. And the Constitution literally says every power that is not enumerated and either given to federal government or states in the Constitution is reserved for the states. Anything that comes up is a state power that is not already set aside for the federal government. So states have this tremendous leeway, and that cities only exist basically at the leisure of the states. A state can preempt anything a city wants to do, and the cities have only the power that the states allow them to have. So state power becomes the jewel. And that is what I'm trying to get people to see, and that is what I'm trying to get people to access.
So Tevin's ready to go. Now I'm going to lose a radio or a podcast mate here because now Tevin's ready to go, Charles. Way to go.
Everything's digital. You can just do it from wherever.
Yeah, we'll do the show remote. I'm gonna go live in the land of barbecue ribs and deliciousness in Louisiana, and yeah, it'll be good.
Charles, let me ask you a question. And what I'm trying to do is advocate for your idea here. As I said, I just made a drive through the South. To me, and I grew up in a Black, Jewish, Catholic neighborhood. That's where I grew up in Minneapolis. Okay. And as I drove through the South, stopping in different places, to me, people of color, and I'm talking about all people of color, are much happier in the South anyway. Am I wrong about that?
I don't know if I would, I could go as far as to say, kind of characterize all of them, but I will say this, though. There are 1,200 majority Black towns and cities in America. 90% of them are in the American South. In fact, the municipal South, you could argue, is Black. Most of the capital cities in the South are majority Black. And so it changes people's relationship to their own governance, and it changes the relationship of power to those people. So you don't have stop and frisk in Atlanta or in, wherever southern city. That was a New York City phenomenon. That was that was exported to California, to LA and Oakland and to Chicago. So we just didn't have the militarization of police and this stance against them. So, a lot of those municipalities that are majority Black also have had recently majority Black chiefs of police. It changes people's stance. And also, those police departments have people who live in community with the people that they are policing, unlike a New York City where most of the police will live on Long Island or Staten Island. And so there's confrontation from the beginning because these are people coming from different kind of livelihoods and different kind of cultural environments. So that changes, and I think that creates a very different feeling in the American South. That doesn't mean that you don't have crime, you don't have problems. It's just the relationship to power and policing changes dramatically.
I could see that to be true. Charles, you do a hell of a job. And by the way, I consider you an acquaintance now. So if you want me to talk to Curtis Blow and get him to stop using your name, I could do that for you.
He follows me. He follows me on social media.
Does he really?
Yes, he does.
I love that, Charles. Charles, I understand your point absolutely. I think it's a good idea. Majority always, well, I don't want to say rules. That's not a good word to use here, but the majority does very, very well. I understand your point 100%, and I loved having you on. Please come back more often. The HBO documentary film South to Black Power release date is today. Charles Blow, journalist, commentator, and op-ed columnist for the New York Times, political analyst for MSNBC. Now, how are you going to walk away from all that you made? So, I mean, you made a hell of a career for yourself, Charles.
Listen, everything's digital. I can do it from Atlanta.
Actually, you kind of remind me of my mother because she did the same thing. When I asked her a question, she'd go, "What are you talking about?" Her voice would go up and she started yelling. So, Charles, you made me feel at home. I appreciate that, sir. But, look, I think any way that anything that makes any people happier, I'm all for. That works for me, right?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Charles. Charles Blow, ladies and gentlemen. That was a hell of an interview, I thought.
Yeah.
I'm packing my bags, and I don't think I'm going to move to Atlanta because that's a little dicey from what I've been seeing on the news, but I'll head down Baton Rouge. Yeah, Baton Rouge way.
I'm gonna miss you.
He's ready to go. I understand the point. As he pointed out, this already been done in Vermont. Young people change their politics there completely. Now, the one problem you have is, I mean, not with Curtis's situation, but what they did in Vermont is they all had the same exact politics, which is never a good idea.
I was going to say, like, the idea of any group of people, like, hey, let's all move to one area.
Yeah.
If you get one state that's all just one type of person, it's a red flag. Like, I need some sort of pushback. You need a little bit of pushback to make sure that you keep everything kind of in check and checks and balances and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I don't think we're in worry of any big migration of black people to the South.
I think there's two documentaries I've seen where these big groups try to take over like a small town, and one was like a KKK group.
Oh yeah, right.
A small town. I think it was in North Dakota. I can't remember. And then another one was Wild Wild Country, the documentary, where this like cult.
Was it the Waco?
No, it
cult?
wasn't
'Cause they
Waco.
did the same thing,
No, but yeah, Waco did do they moved to Oregon, like for some small, and everyone hated them. You know what I mean? Like, it is really weird when a big group is like, let's all move.
Right. And especially if it's a small town, like you need the big city infrastructure to be able to support your mass. So like move to Minneapolis or something like that.
Try that in a small town.
Yeah, there you go. That'll work for me. I love the idea. I loved having Charles on. I thought he did a hell of a job. A very bright man, obviously.
Yeah.
And to have him on right after I just went through the area he's talking about, I understand what he's saying. So you want to move to which part of Louisiana is your family from?
Jonesville is where they're originally from. It's a small town. It's kind of, I think it's about 2 hours south of Baton Rouge or New Orleans.
Oh, it's right there. Oh, so it's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a great area.
Yeah, it's a very small town. But yeah, I lived in Baton Rouge for about a year when I moved down there with some family, and I would move back down there in a heartbeat.
Baton Rouge, does that mean in red stick?
Does it?
Sure. I don't know. That's a great question. I didn't ask. I just showed up and was eating ribs and, and hanging out. Like, I don't know.
See, this gave me an opportunity to tell you guys something. It just popped into my head because of the timing of this whole thing is amazing. The fact that I literally just a few days ago went through the exact areas he's talking about. I get to Florida, and I've never mentioned this before, and the only reason I'm mentioning it now is because the conversation we just had. I would say 75-80% of my friends in Florida are black. I didn't go searching for friends. They didn't come searching for me. It's just the way the whole thing worked out. Right.
Right. And Baton Rouge does mean red stick.
Yeah. Red stick. Yeah. So I get to Florida, and all of a sudden my friend Brew, who, by the way, Brew is about your same size, as a matter of fact. And I do believe he could whip Muhammad Ali's ass. I'm just saying, back in the good days. That's all I'm saying. Brew, he sees me, runs over, gives me this big hug, and this fella picked me up. You got to be pretty strong to pick me up. You know what I'm saying? I ran into Charles, my friend. Every one of them gave me a hug. Southerners have a different deal because they're not just some of them are Floridians. They're all from the South, but they have a different approach to life.
Yeah, it's a much more laid back, kind of slow pace at times where it's, because it's so hot where a lot of people are, inside all day, and then at night they come out and hang out because the sun's down and it's cooler. So it's, I don't know, it's just a different pace. I feel like they're much nicer down there.
Absolutely.
Southern hospitality, I think, is way better than Minnesota nice, for example. Not that Minnesotans aren't nice. It's just
No, you're right. You're absolutely. It's not that they're not nice people, except for the ones I don't like. But anyway, I have a friend, Anderson. Anderson, also a black man in America today, smart ass that he is. I walk up and he goes, Tommy, and he bows to me, and I start laughing. I'm like, kiss my ass with that stuff, Anderson. The timing of this, I don't know what it is about this trip that all this stuff keeps popping up that I just experienced. Yeah. I already talked to you guys about the fact that I'm driving through the South, and these white people are talking to one another. I have no idea what the hell they're saying. So we're talking to guys on. It was unbelievable. I'm like, what the hell are you saying?
Especially if you get into like the deep swamp south area, you need subtitles, or you just nod your head and you keep going with about your day because you're not going to understand anything. I remember the first time, speaking of you driving down south, the first time I drove down there, it was probably 10, 11 o'clock at night. I was hungry, so I pull into a McDonald's quick, just going to stop, keep on going. And I pull up to the door and I notice that there's these black spots all over the outside of the McDonald's. And I look a little closer and the spots are moving. And it's these huge, cicada type.
Oh, yeah.
All over the place. And so that, for me, deal breaker.
Done.
Nope. I'm going through the drive-through.
No.
So get to the drive-through. I crack the window just enough so they can hear me say my order. Pull up to the window, slide my card through the little crack in the window, swipe, give it back. Well, now I got the dilemma of how do I get my food in the car? So she's holding the bag outside of the window. I quick roll down, snatch the bag, roll my window back up. I'm like, we made it. So I'm pulling out. I'm about to pull out onto the road. And I hear this hissing sound. And I look down on the bag and there is a fat ass cicada bug thing on the bag. And it takes off flying. You'd have thought there was a murderer in my car. I get out of the car, throwing the bag all over the place. I had a near-death experience in a McDonald's parking lot. Probably about 7 people watching this grown man just absolutely have a panic attack because there's a bug in his car.
How big is this bug? About the size of the palm of your hand?
Yeah, I would say, about the size of the palm of my hand. I mean, if we got that bug in here today, it probably was very tiny, but to me, it was the size of a baby bird.
Like a cicada, they're long, but they're not that wide.
It was huge. It was at least,
and they're scary up close because they look all sorts of creepy.
You don't have to tell me.
Man, down south, you got all sorts of things. I
couldn't do it. The snakes, the lizards, all of
the bite, the red ants, the ones that bite, they just attack things. No, it's a lot down south.
So before we move anywhere, we need to have a meeting and, hey, come to Minnesota. Yes, it's cold, but we don't have all those bugs.
No, that is true. One thing I really love about today's show is Amy came in, made us all feel better about humanity. We have Charles on, same situation, different subjects. This was not about, we're going to abandon you and leave you in our, in the rear view mirror. We want to get the hell away from it. That's not what it was about at all. It was about, let's move back to our roots. The white people already did it in Vermont years ago. It was nothing negative about his message at all.
No. And what I took from him more was that he's really saying the emphasis should be on your state level politics, not necessarily the national. If you want to create change. So whether you're going to move across the country or not, wherever you're at, make sure you pay attention, whatever side of the coin you are, pay attention to your state level politics more so, because that's going to have more of an effect on your day-to-day life.
I would agree completely. I thought those two of the best guests back to back that we've had in a while. I mean, our guests have been great, don't get me wrong, but very emotional. Both things are very emotional subjects, which I tend to lean toward, where there's feeling about the whole thing. It's not just about, hey, you're talking to talk. You actually have some emotion about it.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that kind of conversation. You know what I mean?
It's a lot. It's a lot.
It is. And he never, ever once said, and I was hoping that he wouldn't, never once did he say, we got to abandon the North. That's not his message at all.
Oh.
That's not what he was talking about at all.
And I was waiting for some sort of death to Whitey type comment. I was like, I'm going to jump on. What are you doing here, sir? But no, it definitely wasn't what I was expecting. And now that was
here's what I love about this. Tevin put somebody on he hopes is going to go after Whitey. I really like that a lot.
Well, when I first was reading through his biography, I was like, I don't know if this will be a great fit. And then as I was reading, what Art sends, I was like, this guy might be crazy. Are we having a crazy person on the show? And so I'm glad that he was not, and we didn't have to shoot holes in all of his theories.
No, you couldn't. It's very hard to argue about anything the man said. He's very, very well educated, very well spoken. I mean, he's extremely successful. And it wasn't about hurting anyone. It was about helping Black people, not hurting white people. It's a big difference.
Yeah.
Right.
And by the way, AJ just got his third yawn in today. You do realize you're on camera when you yawn like
Are black people boring to you, AJ?
Yeah,
Is that-
AJ.
yeah, baby.
AJ, is that the problem?
No, I was thinking about how boring it would be to move down to Louisiana.
Oh, Louisiana's phenomenal. If you go to the right parts of Louisiana, it's amazing.
Yep.
My favorite Louisiana story is New Orleans. First time I was ever in New Orleans. It was quite the experience. You ever been to New Orleans?
Yes, and it is to say it's quite the experience is probably sums up everybody's experience in New Orleans, because it is, you see everything. I saw a grandmother on a milk crate twerking in the middle of the street while a block down there was a preacher saying that everybody here on Bourbon Street is going to die a horrible death because everybody's the worst. And then if you go, you can also get like the greatest soul food that you've ever had in your life, but then you go one block in the wrong direction and it's I think it's like the St. Louis Cemetery, and you might never come back because you'll get kidnapped and murdered. It's
yes. Did you go to Mrs. B's to eat?
No, I did not. I went to a place that was called Booties. I don't even know if it's still down there, but it was the greatest Asian food.
Eating out at Booties. That's a real nice thing to say.
Yeah, I wouldn't say, don't say eating out at Booties.
Do it.
Tevin, I heard you're a big booty eater.
Yeah, you eat booty every Tuesday.
Now, I got the audience to the show over the years knows I've told this story many times because it's one of my favorite stories to tell. Anyway, but I had just been down in Louisiana after the hurricane hit because Catherine and I were trying to help people out and all the rest of it. And if you do that, by the way, watch your back because there are a lot of thieves in town and try to get as much money out as they possibly can. A friend of mine, Gene, goes down there and he's staying in New Orleans. And he wakes up at 2:00 in the morning. He said, whenever I travel, I just wake up in the middle of the night and I go downstairs and I have a cigar or something. I just got to do something because I can maybe try to get back to sleep. So he's sitting on the front steps of the hotel in New Orleans, and it's 2:00 in the morning, and he's smoking a cigar, and it's about 7-year-old little black girl comes skipping rope down. It's 2:00 in the morning, right? And she's skipping rope. She comes up and she looks at Gene. She goes, "What are you doing?" He goes, "What do you mean?" He said, "What are you doing outside at 2:00 in the morning?" This is a 7-year-old girl. He goes, "I'm just trying to relax so I can go back to sleep." And she said, "Well, you better hurry up with that cigar or they're going to kill you." Like, that's
Jesus. I'd be in so quick. I'd be in quicker than you were afraid of grasshoppers one day.
I would be back inside, packed my bag on the first flight out. Because one, little girl, what are you doing out
Exactly.
Exactly. No, I've seen The Shining. That's what this feels like. I am out of here.
Yeah, good call.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we got to take a break. My God, those two interviews, I really enjoyed both of them. And I still think the fact that Seeman and Blow were on the same show really works out.
Yeah, we should have reversed the order, but
yeah, probably. We'll be right back in a couple minutes right after this.
This is the Tom Barnard Show.
This is Bob Sansevier, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialke from Bialke Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, or anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialke Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit bialkelaw.com. That's BIALKE law.com.
You have all helped support MyPillow and their employees in these tough economic times. Mike Lindell knows this and continues to give back to listeners with great deals on his most popular products. Right now, you can save 50% on Queen and King pillows and the original My Slippers, and the MyPillow 6-pack bath towel sets are back in stock. The proprietary technology makes them extremely absorbent, yet still provides that soft feel you look for in a towel. Set comes with 2 bath towels, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths. Regular price is $79.98, and for a limited time, you can get this 6-pack towel set for only $39.99 with promo code TOM. That's a 50% savings. So go to mypillow.com, use promo code Tom to save 50% on the MyPillow 6-pack towel sets. That is just $39.99 for a set. This deal will not last long. Enter promo code Tom for this special and many more.
Tom Barnard is back. Every weekday, you'll hear Tommy B, Brittany Arneson. Yes, that Brittany Arneson. Along with Tom's pals Kent Herbeck on Fridays, Bob Sansevier, Mike Stretch Gelfand, Tim Lammers, and from Channel 5 Eyewitness News, Chris Eggert and Kristen Burt on entertainment and pop culture. It's Tom and the crew with opinions on news, opinions on life, opinions on entertainment,
And of course, opinions on other people's stupid opinions.
The Tom Barnard Show is a podcast, so you can listen when you want to listen. In the car, on the way to or from work, at home, on the job site, or wherever you need your Tommy B Show fix. Hear the show on the Tom Barnard Show app in your app store, as a podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts, or see it on YouTube on the Tom Barnard Show channel.
Damn, because I'm remote, I didn't get to say goodbye to AJ. Goodbye, AJ.
He said goodbye, Tom.
Yeah, oh, good. My Magnus. I was probably out of the room when he said goodbye, but tell him I came back and said goodbye. Okay. Next time you see him. And he missed out on a couple of good interviews. They were terrific. And that I know this is going to be hard for you to believe, but both interviews were about helping people, not hating them. I know that's really unusual these days. Really good interviews, as a matter of fact. I loved them. No, it was just terrific. Amy Seeman on talking about helping single moms out with cars and cash. Charles Blow talking about not getting away from Whitey or anything like that. It was about voting power and returning to the South. So they would, he talked about it happening in the Northeast. It was very, very, I think it was terrifically uplifting for me. I think it really was, just talking to both of them.
Yeah, it was a great time.
It gives you hope in a time of where hope seems bleak.
I just donated and posted for the 12 Moms of Christmas.
Well,
And
thank you. Very nice.
yeah, there's really great pictures on our socials from last year. So yeah,
No
it's
question.
lovely.
Andy, we had Charles Blow on, works at MSNBC and the New York Times. And hard to believe, but he is not related to Curtis Blow, if you even know who that is.
I sure don't.
I didn't.
What was his band? Was he like Curtis Blow and the Pips or something like that?
Yes, I don't think it was the Pips, but it was something like that. Yeah.
Let's see. Who was he with?
So that's a fake name. This is my real name. Curtis Blow was a fake name, but Curtis Blow
Breaks.
followed.
The Breaks. There we go.
The Breaks.
Right, the Breaks was his song.
Yeah,
not
because
a-
these are the Breaks.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, look at Brittany dancing, and she starts
She has
dancing.
no idea.
I have one glove on. It's freezing
Okay,
here. We got to
Michael.
turn on the heat. I wish I could have
Why is
two,
it
but I
so-
can't.
Why?
I don't know. I got to turn the heat up.
It's because it's cold as hell outside.
Well, I know, but it shouldn't be that cold in there.
I'm going to adjust the thermostat.
Also,
I
by the
don't know
time-
if the
when you-
thermostat actually does anything.
Right, and when you adjust it, it's not like it immediately goes to 80. By the time you leave, it probably won't even go up like 5 degrees.
Oh, because future Brittany wouldn't appreciate it.
I turn it down every time I leave. So,
Yeah, there you go. Really nice. All right, I've been holding off on this story for a couple hours now, but so I want to get to it. Here's a question for you. What's better for the environment, cutting down trees or plastic? In a new poll, people were asked what kind of Christmas tree they prefer, and 48% said they prefer artificial, 40% said real, and 13% are not sure. Men and younger adults tend to prefer real trees. But why do you prefer the kind of tree you do? Do you have a preference?
fake tree all the way.
Yeah, we've always done fake. It's
Yep.
easier to. Well, for one, you can use it over and over. You can use it every year.
Oh, I was going to throw mine out.
Oh, you were?
Throw the fake tree out every year and buy a new one.
In this
Oh, no
economy.
doubt.
In this economy.
But like the cleanup, needles everywhere. You got to dispose of the old tree. There's bugs and sap.
Okay,
and
but
it's
is there
just-
anything more glamorous than going in a house and smelling that tree?
Yeah, true.
I mean, if I had the resources to, if Gogo was old enough where I could yell at her to take care of the tree, I think that might be at some point. I want a real tree some year, one
Just
year.
Spray it with Pine Sol.
That's true.
That's nice. And well, Andy, when you and Alex were little, we had real trees.
When we were, I don't even remember the real trees.
Yeah,
I'm
probably true.
very young when we stopped that.
You never had to water them?
Oh yeah, you have a little dish at the bottom.
No, I mean, like, you don't remember. That was my job. I was the
Oh,
waterer.
I don't remember.
I was the youngest, so I'd crawl under there and water it. I'd always be like, it's really scary under here.
I don't see Andy watering a tree. I can't picture that one.
No.
So there you go. Okay, so here, why do you prefer the kind of tree you do? Maybe having a real tree smells nicer, something that Brittany already pointed out. But maybe a fake tree is easier or more convenient. They didn't ask about those things, but they did ask about price and sustainability. When asked which kind of tree is more affordable, 63% said artificial trees last long enough to be a better value. That's true, I would
Absolutely,
imagine.
100%. Well, I mean, you can use them for, if you treat them well, you can use them for 10, 15 years.
Sure, absolutely. 19% claimed real trees are cheaper. And when asked, well, you said the fake trees now are about $100. They started about $100 now, huh?
They start.
Start,
And that would be a bleak,
Yeah.
like, waist-high tree because
It's not that dramatic.
Find me
I bought-
a 6-foot tall tree that's $100 right now, not 5 years
I
ago.
literally just bought a 6-foot all white Christmas tree from Walmart it was like $60.
What?
Really?
And it looks just fine.
Send me the link.
So you can find, yes, there are some sad looking ones that are very cheap, but it's not the end of the world, Brittany.
Send me the link.
When asked which is better for the environment, 47% said fake reusable trees are better because you don't waste trees. And 33% said real trees are better because it cuts down on plastic. 19% are not sure. Do you think there's even a real argument here whether fake trees or real trees are better for the environment?
No, real trees are, absolutely.
I would think so.
If you're manufacturing more plastic, then that's just, plastic is something that stays there forever. You put it in a landfill, it's going to stay there for a very long time.
Yeah. And there's not like a Christmas tree forest that's getting cut down, excuse me, every year.
No, it comes from tree farms.
Right, tree farms that plant them to be cut down.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. They are planted to be cut down for Christmas. So, I mean, I don't see those, because there was a tree farm out of our house by Dayton, by our house in Dayton. It's just about a mile away, something like that. And that was beautifully aligned. I mean, that thing every year looked absolutely gorgeous. They took really good care of those trees.
Oh, where we live, there's a million tree farms.
Oh, I bet out there. Yeah, you're absolutely right. But anything new on the way in, Andy? Any great calamities that we avoided by having two great guests on?
Not as far as I know.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm looking through here, Okay, we could do this one, though. This might be good. We can vote on this, but it might be a 50-50 vote. You ready?
Yep.
The most hated TV characters of all time.
Ooh.
Number one,
I
I'm
like this. I
sure
like this.
is going to be Joffrey from Game of Thrones. I
Oh,
guarantee
yeah. Joffrey's a.
it. Never even seen it, but I know everyone just loved to hate him
Yeah.
Yeah. Joffrey what?
Joffrey was terrible.
from Game of Thrones.
From Game of Thrones. Okay.
Number two is what's that whiny kid's character? It's not. Is it Caillou?
Oh, yeah, but I think they would pick people that are like the villain or like the mom in Sons of Anarchy, where she like just type of thing. Oh, can you hate
Well,
Caillou?
spoiler alert. I haven't seen that series yet.
I haven't seen Game of Thrones, so cool your jets with Joffrey or whatever is Jeffrey.
Whomever.
Yeah.
So you want me to read this most hated
why
TV
not?
character?
Yeah, we're all going to vote. I like that, Tom.
We're all gonna vote.
We'll see how many
Okay,
I've
we'll get a vote.
actually heard of before.
We'll have to see if that's the way it works out. I'm learning to navigate this. I'm not doing good. It worked last time. Why isn't it working when I try to scroll down? What the hell's wrong with you? I'll push it.
Oh, we need to get you a mouse, don't
Yeah,
we?
you got to use two fingers on the trackpad.
Yeah, I'll have Mom buy you another USB mouse.
All right, flex much.
I can touch the screen and move it up though. So that does help.
Sometimes that's easier, honestly.
Yeah, probably. But you know what? Actually, but I wouldn't mind having a mouse anyway. What the hell? You know those TV characters that you wish would just go away as soon as they hit the screen? Well, that's kind of what you guys were talking about, right?
Oh, another one I bet is baseball bat man from Walking Dead. The guy who killed the show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
A guy killed the show? Well, I'm going to start from 10 and go to 1. So I'm not going to start at the top and go to the bottom. I'm going to start at the bottom and go to the top.
Yeah.
So we'll see. On ranker.com, people are voting the most hated TV characters of all time. I was trying to I don't really have one. I don't have a TV character that I really hated.
Mr. Burns, maybe?
Mr. Burns is.
I know.
He's like
kind of
so
likable.
evil. It's fun.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, there you go.
You don't hate him. He's because he's like he embraces the whole supervillain. He also nothing ever really bad happens despite his best efforts.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah, there is that. There you go. Okay, number 10 is maybe the guy you were talking about, Ed Pelletier on The Walking Dead.
Yep.
That's him.
That's him.
No, that's not what his name
Ed
is.
Pelletier? I think that is.
Yeah.
No.
He was Carol's abusive husband on season 1.
Oh,
the old guy.
He died spoiler alert if you haven't seen it.
Didn't he
you're on
die
your
in
way.
like episode 2 or
Right.
something?
Yeah, that guy
Yeah.
was
Who the hell
early
even
on.
remembers him?
And then Carol becomes a badass.
Oh, she does?
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to believe because she's like
This
fairly
frail,
old,
yes.
and she's like this 70-pound woman in her 60s, and she's like roundhouse kicking zombies' heads
She
off.
might not be that old, but she dressed super old. You know what I mean? Like there's those people
Well,
that
you dressed what you can find in the apocalypse.
but like
right?
she had like the short haircut, like right early on was like she
Yeah.
just seemed older than she was. She could have been like
Yeah.
in her 50s.
Let's see. She was in her late 40s to early 50s,
Yeah.
apparently.
I could see that.
But she looked much older.
She looked very, very old.
Don't you know those people that have like just like a shortcut and that old person vibe?
Yes.
Yeah.
There you have it. Okay, number 9, Ezra Fitz on Pretty Little Liars. I don't even
No
know
idea.
what that is.
None of us here have seen it.
Okay.
My girlfriend loves that show, so I know the name Ezra Fitz. He's the
Ooh.
teacher that had like an affair with the one student, and yeah.
Oh, he's a groomer, eh?
Yeah.
So he's the pretty little liar then.
Yeah, damn right.
That's a weird.
He almost made Brittany throw up. I just
No, I didn't. So he's the
Right.
pretty little liar that
Andy,
like Andy.
referring to a grown man as a pretty little liar.
The mystery is solved.
I don't know if I'm turned on or turned off, but I'm in it. I'm in
Hey,
it.
whatever works. Okay, number 8 is Todd Alquist on Breaking Bad.
I tried getting into Breaking Bad. I just couldn't.
Todd Alquist.
Is he the no, I don't recognize him.
Oh, he's he's the one who looks like a cheap Matt Damon.
He was the guy
Yeah,
in
he
Back
does.
to the. Wasn't he the guy in like Back to the Future?
No, that's not the same guy.
Biff?
No, that's
That's what he
not
looks
the
like.
same guy
That's
at
not
all.
Biff. I don't think. Maybe
No,
it is.
This
Jesse
I promise
Plemons.
you guys, this is not Biff. Biff is much older than this guy.
Well,
Biff's
there is
son.
that. It's Jesse Plemons. What else has he been?
Jesse Plemons. Oh, I know who Jesse Plemons is. He's been in a lot of stuff.
I know he's in episodes of Fargo, and he's been on a bunch. He's really
So
talented.
he was
Good
Biff
actor.
in Back to the Future. No,
You lie. You're the pretty little liar.
I've taken
Yes,
the title
we're
from
back.
Ezra, whatever.
We're never leaving Ezra behind. He's always going to be the pretty little liar. No question about it. Now, this one, I have seen every single episode of The Sopranos at least 3 times, and I don't remember who this woman is. Livia Soprano.
Is that the
Remember
daughter?
her? Is that the daughter? I don't remember her being so evil. I don't know why I don't remember who Livia Soprano is.
Livia
She's an old
seems to
lady.
be fairly old, yes.
Oh, she's the
Oh,
mom.
so it's Tony's
Mother of
mom.
Tony.
Oh,
Tony's
yeah.
mom, yep.
She wasn't evil. I mean, she was a pain in the ass. There's no
She
question
It's
wasn't.
about evil. It's about hateable.
She was pretty
Oh, that's
evil,
true.
though.
That's
She had some wild stuff.
Yeah, I suppose. Whoever heard of you ever heard one of her best lines of all time? Now I remember who Livia is.
Yeah, what was it?
Hey, Ma, did I tell you, my buddy moved out. He bought a horse farm. And she goes, whoever heard of a Jew on a horse?
Yeah,
That's unlikable. Yeah.
she had some like dead eyes, but yet like aggressive like mouth. Like she was angry.
He hated everyone.
Sure did.
He just hated everybody. So Olivia was his mom. That's who it was. Okay.
That's
Yeah, she
who it
was terrific. Great actor.
And then the daughter was pretty detestable too.
Yeah.
No, I mean Tony's sister, Janet,
sister,
was
yes.
pretty detestable as well. Advantageous, we'll say.
I don't know this next one. Number 6 is Rachel Berry on Glee.
Oh, what?
You know who that
People hated her?
I've never seen
Who the hell cares about Glee?
Rachel.
She, what's her? Michelle something? Leah Michelle is her real name. But yeah.
Well, I know
she
who
was-
Leah Michelle is. Yeah.
She was like in Glee. She was the super talented, knew she was better than everybody type girl.
Boy, this top 5 is going to be a bitch. You know why the top 5 is going to be a bitch?
Ever heard of any of them?
Because 3 of the 5 of them are from the same show.
Oh, it's Game of Thrones, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, there you go.
His little maybe.
Number 5, Cersei Lannister on Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Cersei.
Cersei?
Yeah.
It's pronounced Cersei?
Yeah, she was
She one of the incestarinos?
yeah, she had sex with her brother and she
Oh God.
wanted to burn everything to the ground at some point. She was pretty badass.
Not
She
a
had
lot
the-
of great aspirations
She
there.
had the dragons.
No.
Okay.
That's Daenerys. Cersei was blonde and just really angry. But I'd be angry too with some of the situations she was in.
Sure. Why not? Okay, number 4 is the governor on The Walking Dead. I don't even know who that is.
That's the baseball bat guy.
No, the governor is the guy before the baseball bat guy.
People love the
The
Walking
baseball
Dead.
bat guy is Negan.
Oh, that's right.
The governor, I mean,
Oh yeah, he was the one who had like the town.
yes.
And the eye patch. The
Yep,
eye patch is what would
exactly.
really stick out.
honestly, no, Negan was way more hateable. The governor, like, he was crazy, but he also, the reason he did the bad things he did was because of bad writing on the protagonist's part. So I don't know.
Oh, really?
It's kind of hard to, that's kind of at the point where the show was like, all right, so we got this nice town that everyone's living in, everyone's happy. And we got this converted prison that everyone's living in and everyone's happy. How do we ruin this?
Yeah.
So everyone just starts acting like in lunatic.
They're like, let's all pretend we just shot up heroin or not even heroin, like
they all
bath
just
salts.
Yeah,
again.
exactly. They all just go nuts.
Yeah.
Exclusively so the story can move on. Because
You're
it's
right.
like, oh crap, we basically solved the apocalypse. Now what?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to throw this out first because I've never heard of it. And I want to see if you guys know who it is just by mentioning one word. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
Anime. The next show, the character's from anime.
I know what anime is.
But you don't know who the character might be?
What character would it be? Could be Cell from Dragon Ball Z, maybe?
Somebody from Pokemon.
Giovanni from
Rocket.
Pokemon.
What are they though?
Jesse and James, Team
Yeah.
Rocket.
Yeah, they
Blast
do.
off at the speed of light. Surrender now, prepare to fight.
Show Tucker. Show Tucker on Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I've
I
never
know
even heard
Full
of it.
Metal Alchemist, but I don't know any of the characters.
We can go to the next one.
If Andy doesn't have our back on this,
Andy,
what
yeah.
is he doing here, Andy?
Sorry.
Look, come on.
How do you spell that?
Don't even worry about it.
Which one? Show. It's ASHOU.
You'll
Must
learn
be
nothing.
Shoe or show. I don't know how you pronounce it. Tucker.
Oh, okay. I do know who that is, actually.
So you were right, Brittany. He does know who it is.
Yeah,
I
there
can
you
give
go.
you a quick rundown if you even care,
No,
or we can just move
please
on.
don't. Please don't. I love you so much. Please don't.
Not worth.
Is it the guy that runs with his arms behind it?
That's Naruto.
Okay.
Yeah, come on.
My God, you guys know all this stuff. It's amazing.
I've never seen Naruto. Naruto running is a famous meme on the internet.
Oh,
'cause
it is?
Every
Okay.
teenage kid at the time ran like that because that's how Naruto ran. So you could always spot the weebs in the crowd.
Love it. Okay, the next one is Ramsay Bolton on Game of Thrones.
Yep, he's terrible. He loved to cut off the skin of people. That was his thing. He liked to skin people while they're still alive for a long period of time, and then
Isn't that like Jeffrey Dahmer?
yeah,
Was he
kind of.
inspired?
And one of the main characters was married to him, and she was really lovely, and he did terrible things to her. So I can see that.
Every time I think of Jeffrey Dahmer, I think of our buddy Kevin Meaney, who he's come in. Unfortunately, Kevin took his own life a few years ago. Very famous comedian, great guy. But he was in studio at the Q when they arrested Jeffrey Dahmer and revealed all the things in his, like the frying the heart on the stove, and there was a head in his refrigerator. And Kevin Meaney said, "Can you imagine the building manager after they arrest the guy and take him away? He opens the door and goes, all this carpet's gotta go."
Gotta go. That's so funny.
That was phenomenal. Kevin, I miss you, man. I really do. Okay, number 1 is also from the Game of Thrones. And who did you guys think it was?
Joffrey.
Peter Dinklage.
Gotta be Joffrey.
Peter Dinklage is amazing.
It's Joffrey Baratheon. Is that how you say his name?
Baratheon.
Baratheon?
I'm a
Joffrey
nerd.
Baratheon on Game of Thrones. So what's the deal? How did you guys know he'd be number 1?
And it was Andy's guess. He is detestable, and he's young, and he played his role super well. And
He's
he was like,
written to be annoying.
he's like, I want it now. Kill him. Like he was like a little king that was super
Even
annoying.
just you doing that makes me want to put you on this list.
We should put her on most hateable person on the Tom Barnard Morning Show.
It's like if you were to ask someone, okay, write a character that's hateable.
Yeah.
Joffrey is who you would probably write.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's like rich, spoiled brat who hates everyone and everything. He's a sadist. And I've never even watched the show, and I know all this.
Yeah, he's bad. He's real bad.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the guy that owns the Indianapolis Colts again? What's his name?
Jim Irsay.
Jim Irsay.
Oh.
And we were talking last night about the fact he got pulled over and arrested by the cops for drunk
know
driving.
that off the top of your head.
Oh, well, he's been in the news, and we talked about him.
Oh, so you remember from, okay. I was going to say.
I wouldn't know enough.
It was just yesterday we're talking about him, right?
Yeah, with Kostaki, yeah.
What he pulled over and said, you love arresting rich white guys or billionaires or what was it?
Yeah, rich white billionaires.
Oh yeah. He
Rich
felt
white
he was being, rich white billionaires were being profiled.
Yeah, we're actually having a protest downtown Minneapolis today in support of all the rich white billionaires that have been wrongly.
And I'm showing
sure
up
that's
for
good.
different reasons because you know how you always say that protesters are just trying to land some D. Yup, that's
There
my
you go.
protest.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back in a couple of minutes. Kristen Burt will join us right after this.
This is the Tom Barnard Show. Listen live on the Tom Barnard Show app or at tombarnardshow.com.
Hello, I'm Brad Huckle, President and Chief Lending Officer at North American Banking Company.
And I'm Michael Bilski, CEO at North American Banking Company.
As a locally owned and operated community bank, we work with many multi-generational businesses.
Take personal care dentistry of Roseville, for example. Dr. Walter Hunt, also known as Painless to Me, has been a longtime customer of the bank since we opened the bank in 1998.
When his son Kyle was ready to join the practice, they wanted to expand quickly.
With their additional space and equipment, they now are able to see more patients each day while providing the same level of care and service.
Okay, guys, I'll take it from here. If you run a family business or any kind of business for that matter, you should be banking with Brad and Mike over at North American Banking Company. Every time I deal with them or their team, I know I'm working with experienced professional bankers. So why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender. You know the song Kokomo? It's supposed to be off the Florida Keys, right? Hate to break your Beach Boys bubble, but that's a fictitious place they made up for the song. Fortunately for the rest of us, the Florida Keys island chain are as real as the taxes you have to pay in Minnesota if you're a resident. Now that's a reason to move south. In addition to Florida and all of Monroe County being beautiful, the Keys from Key Largo to Key West are even more beautiful. This is Tom Barnard, part-time Florida resident myself. And if you want a second house or a new retirement home or want to become a Floridian, may I suggest you contact Matt Carlson from One Key West Realty. Matt grew up in Litchfield. He's a super real estate agent when it comes to finding your tropical island space in the Keys. He lives there and here, and Matt knows what's best in Key West to buy for your second home in Florida. Matt teamed up with fellow Minnesotan from Sartell and Alexandria, Kristen Eklund, who's one of the top mortgage brokers in the country from Coast to Coast Mortgage. She'll get you the financing you need to buy a home in Florida or in Minnesota. Matt's part of the Lake Sotheby's International Realty Group here in Minnesota, and Kristen, his mortgage colleague, lives and works in the Keys, so they both know the Florida Keys' new and existing homes for sale and are Minnesotan through and through. Contact them by heading to onekeywest.com. That's onekeywest.com.
The new Tom Barnard Show is proud to have partners like Bradshaw & Bryant, MyPillow, and North American Banking Company founder, chairman, and president, Mike Bilski.
I've advertised on Tom's show for years, and the reason is simple. My business is recognized because of the ads, and that recognition has created growth. What business doesn't want to grow? I highly recommend the Tom Barnard Morning Show for your advertising.
Grow results for your business by partnering with the Tom Barnard Show. Visit tombarnardshow.com, keyword partner.
What do you mean totally unruly? I'm never unruly.
He's never unruly, and you remember that.
You horn toot, and that's all I have to say. Kristen Burt now joins us, ladies and gentlemen. We just ran down a list of the 10 most hated people on television. You must know this list.
Yeah, who would you say was number one?
I'm going to say, from being a avid hate watcher of And Just Like That, it is Shay from the show.
Shay was not on the list.
That's a good one.
It's a good guess, though, right?
Yeah, they were detestable.
Now, who is this?
Don't have any idea.
Shay is a non-binary character on And Just Like That, who is involved in a relationship with Miranda, a character who for years has been married to Steve, and they become involved and entangled and just takes the character in a totally different direction than what everyone was used to. And I think they made Shay a stand-up comedian, and they would do comedy concerts, not like a stand-up comedy set. It just was like a really absurd storyline that people just love to hate watch them.
And that was on where was it viewed?
And Just Like That, which is the reboot or the revival of Sex in the City.
But I mean, what channel was it on?
That's on Max.
It's on Max. Okay.
Yeah.
Now Max, who's going over to Max full time now again? One of the streaming channels is going on Max. It's going to move over.
CNN.
Oh, it is CNN.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're bringing one of their channels over there, so people will be able to access it at some point. But I just canceled my Max last night, and I
Really?
just realized there's only a couple shows I watch on there. I'll have a bunch of screeners coming my way because we're almost in Emmy season for this current television season, and I just thought, I'm not watching this. And I looked at their top 10, and a majority of it was Discovery or HGTV type of home renovation shows. And I'm like, that's exactly it. I don't know what is on Max anymore.
Really? Yeah. Yeah. It has changed a lot because it's not HBO anymore. It's just
It's
Max.
HBO on cable. It's Max on streaming.
Oh,
It's super
okay.
confusing branding. So if you have Max, then you also have that plethora of home renovation shows. All of a sudden, you have Chip and Joanna Gaines and their Magnolia, Texas, town that they renovated.
I love that. Did you know all these things? Because I don't know any of them.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I find it very confusing. And I only watch Sex Lives of College Girls on Max, and I only watch And Just Like That. So I will bring the network back when they both return. But for now, I was like, we are out.
It is what it is, just how it is. I like it.
Yeah.
So are they all going to compress on one another? Are we going to end up with, well, we used to have, I mean, obviously there were only 4 or 5 channels when I was a kid, but will they compress all these to bring it? Because it's really unmanageable now. There are things all over the place.
It's completely unmanageable. And I think in the next, I'm going to say maybe 3 to 5 years, we will start seeing those mergers happening because certain networks are not going to be able to sustain themselves alone. They're going to need the power of maybe a Paramount Plus or the power of a Peacock or power of Netflix to kind of come together with that particular library. And even Netflix has said, we need to go and buy other people's properties instead of just doing our own content because it's profitable for us. They're looking for those dollars. And I will tell you, in just talking with everyone in general, a lot of people are looking at canceling subscriptions right now. The economy's tight, people's wallets are tight, and they're saying, I can't sustain 8 to 10 subscriptions anymore. So I'm picking the best ones that I watch the most.
There's a channel right now, and I don't remember which one it was. Maybe it was, I don't even want to guess, but they've compressed, I think, a couple of different channels, 2, 3 different channels onto one now. But the monthly's like $90 a month. Like, Jesus, that's a little spendy, isn't it?
Is that for like a cable type of package? Do you get live in it?
I don't know, but I just saw that number. It's like, really? I got to spend $1,000 a year to watch television?
That sounds about right. Because it's like my Hulu with live TV and whatever sports is, I want to say right around that $80 to $90 range.
Boy, isn't
Yeah,
that
we
amazing?
no longer, for anything live, I honestly just am now going to Tubi and
Right.
Peacock has some live channels and Roku. Roku has a great library of live channels from all across the US. So
Yeah.
I like it when there's a news story breaking, let's say in Chicago, I can actually go and get the local Chicago news and find out what's happening instead of just going, okay,
Yeah.
let me just read the newspaper, read the internet. I don't read the newspaper. What am I talking about?
Yeah,
But
nobody does. That's true.
yeah, but it's a much more affordable option for a lot of people. And I think that we're going to start seeing, we saw everyone cutting the cord. We're now going to see people start to be very selective about their subscriptions.
Yeah, that does make sense. Freevee is another channel I really like, by the way.
Freevee's fabulous.
That's Amazon owns that, right?
Yep.
I'm pretty sure.
And
But yeah,
they've done well with scripted and some of their Christmas movies. So we'll see what they bring forward in the next couple of years too.
well, they got Bosch Legacy on there now. That's a hell of a good show to be on Freevee, I would think.
That's right.
Right?
My husband worked on that show behind the
Oh,
scenes.
did he really?
Yeah.
What did he do?
He was working on the COVID safety team. So he loved working on that set. He worked on that set and he also worked on Hunters season 2.
Oh, sure. Oh, speaking of that, Jack Reacher's coming back in at the end of December or middle of December.
Coming soon.
Oh my God, that guy! What is he like 6'6"? He's huge.
He's huge.
It's so funny because Tom Cruise played Jack Reacher the first time around. He's about 5'1".
He is. Tom Cruise is very well known to allegedly wear lifts in his shoes to make
Sure.
himself appear taller. So I'm going to say he's probably 5'5" and then makes himself about 5'7" or so with those lifts.
There was a matter of fact, kind of interesting you brought that up because there was an episode on Corner Gas, which is on Freevee, where the cop put a ruler kind of thing by the door, so when people came through, he could see how tall they were in case he ever had to arrest anyone or any of that kind of stuff. And there was one woman on the show. She's I think 4'11" in real life, something like that. And it was too high. They couldn't measure her height because she wasn't even 5 feet tall, which pissed her off to no end. She did not like that at all. She didn't even make the measure list. But that's a hell of that. That grandfather on that show is amazingly funny. God, is he funny.
You love Corner Gas.
I do. I love that show. It's a Canadian show. Takes place. It's literally a gas station kind of restaurant kind of mixture, that whole deal. Very, very funny. A lot of talent on the show too. So if you get a chance on Freevee, it's called Corner Gas. 6 seasons. I think you'll love it. What else?
Jeff from Woodbury would like to know if you have any thoughts on Leo, the Adam Sandler movie.
What do you think, Kristen?
They have been promoting the heck out of it here in Los Angeles. They've been getting mommy influencers to go. I have not seen it yet, but I will say that Adam Sandler has done extremely well on Netflix, and I think it's going to find a huge audience, especially at this time of year.
Well, that would make sense. I tend to like Adam Sandler. I only talked to him once in my life. I interviewed him many, many years ago, but seemed like a nice guy. Seemed to be pretty easy to work with. Is that the word on him?
Yeah, Adam Sandler has a great reputation in Hollywood, and people love to work with him because what he does is he gathers his friends and he says, I want to go and make a movie in Italy. We're going to spend the summer there and make this movie. Do you want to come? And everyone just brings their families and they have a work vacation and make a film. He's done that in Hawaii. He's done that in other tropical locations. And I think that, when this whole thing sort of shakes out with what has happened with streaming and the finances and the strikes and everything else.
Right.
Adam Sandler will probably be one of the few top A-list actors who still continues to keep his very profitable production deal. I think a lot of other people will see their production deals canceled, but Adam Sandler always delivers. And Leo will be no exception to that. It will be one of the top shows over the holiday season.
Now, I have heard from everybody ever worked with him, like Nick Swardson, my friend, has worked with him a number of times. Everybody I know who's ever worked with Adam Sandler just loves the guy.
Yeah, he's a really wealthy guy who dresses like,
Right.
he makes about
Yeah, you always
$50,000 a year. He's always in his basketball shorts and a t-shirt.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
he's known to be a great tipper. He's known to be really great to the people he works
That's
with, very
wonderful.
generous. People love
Wonderful.
him.
Yeah, you always see videos of him at a LA Fitness playing basketball with a bunch of just regular people, and he's actually, he's actually a really, really good basketball player.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't think that at all. But he's he's a very good basketball player, and like you, Tom, I've crossed paths with Jamie Lissow and Rob Schneider that have been in a lot of his movies, and when I was talking to them, they were in the process of getting ready to go shoot another movie with him. They're like, oh, we can't wait to go out there because it's a blast. We just go out there, hang out, and like Kristen was saying, you bring your family, and he treats everybody well, and they make a little movie.
I love to see that. Honest to God. I haven't talked to. I talked to Rob Schneider a couple of years ago. I haven't talked to Jamie Lissow in a while, but he came and did the fair with us one year. And now
Yes,
both of those guys are on Fox now, aren't they?
I'm not sure if they're both on Fox, but yeah, I remember bringing Jamie Lissow out to the fair, and he was like, "You mean you guys do this every year?" I'm like, this is awesome. He's just
It's
like,
like that's just like a bicentennial.
right. He's
or
like, "What is this festival?"
Well, it was wonderful because we did the fair this year. And this show didn't even start until February, 24th, something like that. I think it was like February 24th.
Around
Went to
then.
the fair. Everybody showed up and packed the place. It was really, really sweet. Well, you guys were all there. It was wonderful.
It was fun.
Really had a great time doing that whole deal. All right, Kristen, what else in Hollywood? There's got to be a lot of stuff we don't know about.
Yeah, today there's a really big town hall meeting at Disney with Bob Iger, and I'm interested to see the news that comes out of that because over the weekend, the box office, I'm sure a lot of you saw that Wish, which was the Disney animation film. And remember, Disney has owned Thanksgiving weekend for many, many years, and it's just been a really rough year, between Indiana Jones, the Marvels, even Little Mermaid didn't live up to expectations. They've really struggled this year. And everyone's kind of wondering, like, what is Disney's next step in Hollywood? Because people are starting to think that creating Disney Plus has actually stopped people from going to the movies. Because if you know that you've got Wish and it's going to be on Disney Plus within 45 to 60 days,
Yeah.
why are you going to take your family and spend $100 to go to the movie, get the snacks and everything else when you're going to be able to watch it over and over again from your own home and spend a whole lot less money?
Well, it does make sense. I mean, people are going to have to, well, we brought it up several times. I should say I brought it up several times that the right down to the poor families in America, this year it cost them $9,000 more this year than it did the previous year. I mean, that's disgusting.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where people are starting to look at their budgets. And listen, I live in Los Angeles. People make a lot of money, and people who I know are making a lot of money are even saying to me, "I'm cutting back." And so everyone is feeling the pinch no matter where you are. I mean, obviously some people are feeling it worse than others, which is the hard part, but at some point something has to give. And if you want to draw people back to the movie theater, you're going to have to do maybe more discount days, or you're going to have to create a reason for people to go back, or create like family packs of snacks. I don't know, but theater owners are going to have to get really creative because now that you have Disney Plus at home, going to see a Pixar movie is not an event thing anymore. It's not a treat.
Right.
You can go and watch Finding Dory and Little Mermaid and everything else 20 times in a weekend.
Well, but you could always do that ever since the advent of the VCR, and that was a long time ago. I think it's the ubiquity of 4K TVs that have made movie theaters kind of unnecessary in a lot of ways. Because before that, if you wanted to watch a movie at home, you were going to watch it at not so great quality, especially before 1080p, like the TVs we grew up with. Those old 4:3 aspect ratio TVs, the CRTs. It didn't even come close to the movie theaters. But nowadays, you can buy a TV that looks almost as good as a movie screen, I think, for few $100s.
Yeah, the quality of the television going up definitely makes it, less of a necessity to go see it in the theater. There are some movies that you would rather see on the large screen, but I think, Kristen, with Disney Plus, before when it came out on VCR or DVD, it took months to get that out. And so by the time it came out on VCR, like, oh my gosh, I forgot about this movie. I really wanted to see it. I didn't get a chance in theaters. Well, now, like you're saying, if I know it's coming out next month, I'll wait the extra 30 days and save, the $80 that I would have spent.
That's right. If there's multiple movies coming out in, say, a 2-month period, you sit there and you think of how much money you're saving your family. You're popping your own popcorn. You have got your own soda, candy, whatever it is. And again, if the kids want to go and watch it again in the same weekend, you absolutely can turn it back on Sunday after you've already watched it on Saturday without having to go back out to the movie theater.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. You're not getting that repeat visit because there probably are some families that maybe in the heyday of like Pixar, you might have gone to go see Little Mermaid once or twice. You might have gone another time to go, oh, I loved, Moana. Let me go one more time. It happens. And I don't see that repeat business as much as we used to.
Could we take a pause in the show right now because Brittany and Alex are hugging each other, so we got to put it on pause.
We did it quietly.
It was a quiet
Good
hug.
God.
I got her
Covert hug.
I was just excited to see her. My bad.
Would you rather they fight?
Yeah,
exactly. Like
I'll hate her if you want.
Get away from Kristen's throwing punches. Catherine and I watched the new Christmas movie last night, and I must admit it was okay at best.
what was it?
Not that I thought it'd be great, but and we liked it. It was okay, but it wasn't good as I thought it would be. It's called Genie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, have you seen it?
No, I seen the advertisement with Melissa McCarthy's in it.
Melissa McCarthy's in it.
Yeah.
It looks
Yeah,
funny.
Yeah, it looks
It
fun.
looks
on
very
Peacock?
cute.
It's cute. Yeah, it is cute. But the woman, the wife of the man in it is such a pain in the ass. It's like, once you take away all the Christmas spirit, you pain in the ass.
Yeah, they do that. Like it seems like one of the people in the marriage has to be an asshole, and it's
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
do that on shows all the time. Like one is the cranky one. It just happens.
But she gives him, because he keeps saying, "Dude, you're a genie, so I get 3 wishes." And she goes, "You get all the wishes you want." I mean, that part she's quite good, actually.
Melissa McCarthy is so talented. I feel sometimes like she goes through waves of like when she's utilized a lot and then she's underutilized for a long time. And I don't know if that's by design on her side or whether it's just Hollywood's not delivering good projects for her, because to me, she's one of the best comedians out there. She makes me laugh.
Yeah, she's hilarious.
I love her.
When
I
she
think
gets her leg up and Bridesmaids
yeah,
on that plane and it starts slapping it,
Oh my gosh.
it is hilarious.
I guess I'm in the mind.
She takes all the puppies home from the bridal shower or the wedding shower.
12 puppies is just too many. I think that's too many puppies. She just goes on a rant about how she took too many.
She's also really good in Spy, and I feel like that movie tanked at the box office, but she's very good in it.
Yeah, I didn't know, Tom. I didn't know Genie was a holiday movie. I thought it was just like a silly movie, so I didn't know that's a Christmas movie.
Oh, it's a big time Christmas. It's about his wife and child go away before Christmas, and she's talking about breaking up with him, and so there's that whole sad element. The one problem I do have with the movie, that's a really big problem. This guy worked at, I don't know, he worked at some office. He was an office worker, maybe like middle management kind of position in New York City. And he goes home and he's late, and he's riding a motorcycle or a little scooter through the city at Christmas time, which is not a good idea in New York.
No.
But he rides home, and all of a sudden he opens up the door to his apartment. If that apartment costs less than about $10 million, I'm here to tell you.
Yeah.
Where did you get all the money for this joint? I'm like,
I know what my Manhattan apartment looked like in the West Village, and I was paying for the location. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, yeah.
This place is just beautiful.
I'm a butterfly therapist, and my
yeah.
budget is $100 million.
Yeah.
I would guess that the apartment was, and it was beautifully decorated and all this woodwork and magnificent views of the city. And I would guess it had to be at least 3,000 square feet. You imagine how much that would, it could be what, $10 million to buy a condo like that? Minimum?
Oh, easily.
Isn't there anybody that works on these movies that's like, this isn't realistic?
Well, it's hard. It's hard to film a movie in a hallway that's got a bed, a toilet, a kitchen.
Literally,
you have to have
like an
space.
actual, like Kristen's closet right now is what this guy could afford, and like you can't do different scenes.
No.
Let's go to this side of the closet. Let's go to this side.
Hold the bed down
I
from
stood
the
there
wall.
when I moved from Manhattan to Los Angeles. My cat at the time, the cat who traveled with me, she's no longer with us, but she would like walk under my feet, and I'm like, we lived in a space this big. We now live with thousands of square feet. Please stop walking underneath my feet.
No, that's just what cats do.
Yeah, I was gonna
That's
say,
just a cat thing.
I have a huge house, and my golden retriever and my cat are trying to kill me at all times, and I'm fine with it.
It's fine.
Well, they're tight
Until you
with
break
you.
that ankle.
They love being around you. Look, I'm not saying that people shouldn't watch this movie. They should watch it because it has a holiday spirit. Excuse me. It's okay. It's not great. She's very good in it. The man in it, I believe, is British. He's good too. Yeah, the two of them are pretty good. Everybody else in it, and what's his name plays the doorman in it. Mark Maron.
I
He
love
plays
Mark
the-
Maron.
Yeah, he does a good job in it. Yeah, he does a good job in the movie.
I'm
So I
still
think you might like
heartbroken that Netflix never continued Glow for the final season.
Yeah,
It was good.
that's
That was
Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
Allison Brie was so good in that. That was a great show.
Good show.
Are there any great movies coming out for Christmas you know of, Kristen?
Well, this weekend is all about Beyonce and her concert film.
Of
She's going to
course.
own the box office this weekend. So I'm interested to see how she does in comparison to Taylor, because Taylor's coming in on the heels of that. I mean, you obviously, I know Brittany knows that December 13th, it's going to be available on streaming. Are you buying it, Britt, with the 3 additional songs?
Here's the problem. I actually am a little mad at her. Tom, you're welcome. This is my Christmas gift to you. I'm a little mad at Taylor Swift right now.
Ooh, what happened?
Why?
What happened?
This concert has gotten a lot of my money, like a lot of my money. And I went to the movie and I saw the movie. Listen, you either put it on a streaming service or you let us buy it. She's actually only letting us rent it. And I feel like that was one of the rare missteps Taylor Allison Swift has ever had.
Oh no, not the middle name.
Because you know
Taylor
what?
Allison Swift,
I want to have. I like listing. I have Reputation tour in the background all the time. I don't want to rent something. You've gotten enough of my money. Either have like a one-time buy for like $13, or have it on a streaming service. I don't want to rent this. And honestly, she's missing one of the songs because I know they're going to put this out on something else. And it's too much of my money. You've had, ma'am. I need some of my own money, please.
Yeah, in this economy.
So I'm mad at her, Tom. I'm mad at Taylor Swift.
Isn't she a billionaire?
She is.
Yep.
Yes.
Why is she doing this to her fans?
Don't
That
become
makes
a
no
billionaire by being charitable.
Because the market's there.
Offering
The
it
market's there, and she's marketing herself very well. And there's going to be plenty of people that on December 13th will be back seeing the Eras tour with the 3 additional songs.
Yeah.
The rent portion of this isn't Blockbuster. We don't rent things anymore. You put it on the streaming service, you pay for it.
Well, and I would understand if she did the rental thing if she had never done in theaters.
Yeah.
But it's like everybody that would want to rent that movie went and saw it in theaters.
Yeah.
Like how many people are really going to pay more to watch it again with just 3 songs?
Yeah.
Plenty of people will,
there
though.
will be, but that's dumb.
I just think it was a misstep. That's all. And listen, I'm not going to be renting it. I'm going to wait until I can watch it whenever I want because that's what I like doing with her tours. But that's me.
I will say that Taylor Swift got me to watch Kelsey. I watched the documentary on Amazon Prime last night.
Yeah.
Has anyone else seen it?
Super good.
Oh, what is it? What is
Yeah,
it?
it's about Jason Kelsey, Philadelphia Eagles, but Travis is in it as well. But I love sports documentaries, but because it was football, I probably wouldn't have sat down to watch it for an hour and 45 minutes. But it follows that last season where they match up at the Super Bowl, which for them, timing wise, that was just brilliant in terms of the timing of the documentary. And, it was really well done. It was very engaging. You get to see the family and the personal side. And honestly, I only sat down to watch it because I was like, oh, I'm, sort of interested in the Kelseys. I'm not really that interested in football, but they seem to be really fascinating personalities on their own.
No, that is very, very true. Do you think that deal will last?
Yes.
Yes. I think they're endgame. I think they're going to be engaged really fast.
I think I think we're going to have Kelsey busting out of her body at some point, and I'm going to love it. I have pure faith that they're going to be married with children at some point. I don't know why.
Really?
I don't know why. Don't comfort me already, Alex.
Alex is comforting.
Should we predict when the engagement is coming? Like, I feel like if it happened to be like a February 14th engagement, I would not be shocked.
Oh.
Oh God.
I think end of the tour, which is next year.
Next Christmas, maybe.
Yeah, she's got a big break till February where she plays Tokyo in February, and then she plays through 2024, and then I could see them getting engaged.
Really?
Yeah, I think they're endgame.
Mazel tov.
All right, good for them.
I will celebrate in these streets as if I am invited to the wedding when it goes down.
Great.
Will she rent out?
Maybe they'll
a
stream
live
it and
stream
sell
to
tickets.
The wedding.
of the wedding? You can rent it for $13.
Like the royal wedding.
Probably.
It'd be amazing.
Loves making money. Chris, another brilliant report. That's all I have to say.
Thank you so much. See you all tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks very much. Take a break. Be right back and wrap things up.
This is the Tom Barnard Show. Listen live at tombernardshow.com or on the Tom Barnard Show app.
Is that text you're sending so important that you miss your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Recently, Jim of Valley Buick GMC was contacted by a company that does on-site sales. Jim was confused.
Wait, they don't know anything about us, our staff, our reputation, most importantly, our customers.
Hey, pal, no problem. We do them all over the country. You know, get the manager off the roof sale, inflatable gorilla sale, and our favorite, the 13-hour sale with a giant clock that goes to 13. Urgency, baby. We bring our crew because, well, your people are, let's just say, a little laid back.
And the pricing?
Nothing special, sport.
But Jim thought, we price competitively every day. Our prices are special. We definitely don't need these guys. But sale does convey some urgency, so we made a bold decision for his fine dealerships.
Announcing the Valley Buick GMC 365-day sale. And we can even extend it a couple years or so.
I got the air dancer guy, scratch offs, plastic keys, bubble machine.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley or Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Hurry.
I'm so happy to welcome back our longtime friend, Sabre Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning to the show. I've known Steve, the owner, for many years, and I completely trust Sabre to keep my house comfortable. Why? Sabre does everything the right way, and they always put the customer first. I love the team at Sabre because their service experts are experienced NATE certified technicians, not salespeople. Their pricing is completely upfront, and they fix only what needs to be fixed, nothing more. Sabre is dedicated to giving customers what they need when they need it at the fair price, keeping your family safe and comfortable without breaking the bank. Give Sabre Heating and Air Conditioning a try. I know they'll take care of you just like they've taken care of me and my family. Whether you need a new Bryant furnace or air conditioner replaced, or just simply need a service call to get you going again, go to saberheating.com. That's SABRE heating.com. Sabre and Bryant, whatever it takes.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. The last little segment of the morning show. Got the family show coming up in a minute.
I have one order of business.
Oh, dear.
Oh, what's that?
Yesterday was Joe's birthday.
Oh yeah, happy birthday, Joe.
Joe from Louisville.
Joe Mama. Joe Mama. Yeah, exactly. There you have it. I do not understand how no one found this earlier just because of the smell. Okay, think about
It's never a good,
I know what you're going to say.
never a good sign.
Oh, you know?
I think so.
Kevin knows.
I think I put this in the, was it in Tom's news story?
This could be
Yes.
so, this could be so many things.
It's going to be man loses delicious cheeseburger.
Yes, that's what
There
it
you
is.
go.
Man loses. Police are investigating how the man's body ended up in the ventilation system of Macomb Community College building in Michigan. How could your body be in a ventilation system and nobody can smell it?
It depends on how long it's
I was going to say,
there.
it takes a while for it to
Yeah.
start
You
to
guys.
decompose.
You guys, yeah, but also it's a heat. You're pushing out heat this time of year.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait, where was it?
Michigan.
Michigan.
Oh, so it was heat. I was going to say it could still be air conditioning depending on where you are in the country. But
That's
yes,
true.
Michigan
Yeah, in Florida, I'm sure they're air conditioning everywhere.
all the time.
Yeah,
But,
that's
you know,
true.
it takes about a day for it to start to smell. So, I mean, you know.
Well, he went missing. Well, I'll read the story. I'll tell you when he went missing. There is no reason to suspect foul play, said Macomb College Police Chief William Levins. At this point, it is important to remember that this is an ongoing investigation with the goal to understand the circumstances. The body, which was identified Monday as Jason Thompson, 36 of Clinton Township, was found Sunday evening while looking for the source of a terrible smell. Well,
So
there it
wants to
is.
smell, okay.
Oh,
He did smell quite a bit. It sounds like to me anyway. I just, oh my God.
Yeah.
The body, which was identified Monday as Jason Thompson, with a terrible smell. Police, however, did not offer speculation about how the body ended up in the ventilation system or how long it had been there. Thompson was reported missing a month ago.
After a month, there wouldn't be a whole lot left, you wouldn't think.
I don't think it would decompose at that point. And plus, it's in a metal casing. Like,
Well, I guess, yeah, it's probably relatively not sanitary.
Gotta be a
Sterile
little-
in there.
Gotta be a little soupy though.
Yeah,
Jesus.
absolutely.
a month, yeah.
A month? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He actually was last seen on October 25th, so it could be more than a month.
Mm-hmm.
The college said, the community college said it's offering its condolences to Thompson's family.
Oh,
would
no,
the
how
smell-
nice.
So funny. Would it take a month for the smell to come up? Because
No,
it was
it would not.
October 20. Oh, I wouldn't think.
2 days tops.
And what do they mean they don't suspect foul play? Like he didn't crawl up there and take a nap.
Yeah.
Like
What?
He
Yeah,
had
that
just-
is true. This community college is
What?
He
suspicious.
had just played too much Metal Gear Solid, and he wanted to go on some stealth espionage action.
A month ago,
and then he died.
Maybe he knew he was dying and thought that would be the best
Like
place
dogs
to go.
do, where they're like,
Crawl up here.
Yeah, that's true. Dogs do that, don't they?
Dogs do
I'm just
that.
going to die somewhere
do
nice
cats.
and secluded.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much. Somebody just sent me a picture of the building. Gee, thanks a
There it
lot.
is.
I really
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Sounds weird.
And we could close this morning with this very important story that was sent to me about, I don't know, if it was Brittany or Tevin. Very, very important for you to understand all of this, that it's you've been taking baths wrong and it could be damaging your health. Did you know that?
That's a cliffhanger. I feel like you should keep on people on their toes. Like, you could be dying in your
Yeah.
bathtub right now.
We'll report back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Could be.
So maybe that's a family one where you actually tell people, because I bet you somebody's listening in the tub right now.
I don't even know the
Probably.
last time I took a bath.
Brittany
I-
just needs to get out of here. It sounds like
No, I took a bath 2 nights ago.
she looks at the clock. Well, that looks like a good story for tomorrow.
I was thinking for the
Yeah.
family.
Exactly. Getting into the tub is a real treat, but experts have shared that you could be damaging your health by luxuriating too long in the bath. There's an optimum time to bathe for people. So should we hold this off and have it on the family show?
Yeah, but I probably would benefit from the information.
Don't
So
say it.
I got to get in my car.
That's
We'll
true.
forget.
You'll forget anyway.
Probably will.
We'll just
The
do
correct
it
amount
now.
of time for a bath is however long it takes you to shower. Like you
Yeah.
should be taking a bath. What
I
are you
take
soaking
like
in your own
I've
filth?
taken 90-minute baths.
That's too long.
I've
What?
taken our bath
Yeah.
sucks. It's like shallow and it's cast iron, so the water gets cold super fast.
I'm
You either have to
so
choose you have to
sorry.
choose like upper body or lower body, like what's underwater.
Mhm.
Then you have to like reheat the water. It's terrible.
Ours is huge.
I know. I'm jealous.
Get in.
You're
Come
jealous.
on. I told you.
Hop on in.
2 people can fit. I've proven it.
Yes.
A nice long soak at the end of a stressful day with all of your favorite products and a scented candle is the ultimate treat. But baths that are too long could be damaging your health. As tempting as it may be to luxuriate in a bathtub for hours with a good book, experts have shared the optimum time you should be spending in a bath, and it's not much longer than you may spend in the shower. So Tevin was right.
That's a
makes
waste
sense.
of water.
Just here to educate.
I want to know
It's
why.
a waste
I
of
don't-
water. Yeah, well, how is it bad for your health? Your
Yeah.
heart rate gets too high, your blood pressure, what?
Tell me.
Victorian Plumbing has conducted a study to find the ultimate time for optimum relaxation, hydration, and a good night's sleep. The experiment involved 20 participants, half of, wait a second here. This is pretty interesting. Half male and half female. So it wasn't just women, it was men and women taking baths. Because mostly people think that women take a lot more baths than men, right?
I think they probably
I
do.
can't
Well,
think of any man I know. that
Justin
takes
loves
the baths.
baths.
Really?
Like, loves. Like,
Really?
we fight over the bathtub. Yeah.
It says the study showed that, now you said you were in the bath for 90 minutes the other night.
I fell asleep in the bath many times in my life.
Well, that's not a good idea.
It's not like you're
She's
on
still alive.
Yeah, medicated. Like if you fall asleep in the bath, most of the time you're just like, whoa.
Yeah, like, oh,
The study showed that 22 minutes is the optimum length of time to spend in the bath in order to feel relaxed, hydrated, and sleepy. According to the study, if you bathe for more than 27 minutes, you may get out of the bathtub feeling dehydrated. And this supports the advice some professionals who suggest that baths should be no longer than 30 minutes.
Dehydrated. There's water all over the place.
would be
Just
so
drink,
much water.
Drink some bath water.
I've done it.
Oh,
I've done it.
geez,
I've turned
okay.
on like this cold sink and been like so thirsty.
Okay,
Or I
that's
just
gonna
have
be the
water.
wrap.
You always have water with you when you take a bath.
Yeah,
That's
I try.
just
Sometimes if
how-
I forget, I panic a little and I get lightheaded.
Someone help me.
I gotta turn this a little bit.
Okay,
man.
so,
There we go.
hey.
Nana.
So they're saying that it takes 22 minutes to shower.
30.
30 minutes.
Well, they said 22 minutes. Yeah, 22 minutes shower. That's what they say.
Easily with
Yeah.
shaving your
Pretty
legs,
long
washing your hair.
It
Yeah,
depends on if
you
you're-
mom are a slow shower.
Yeah, it depends on if you're like shaving and stuff.
I am like,
suppose.
I'm in and
Nana,
out.
the slow
like
shower.
if it's an everything shower where you gotta like wash, condition, shave everything, do
Which is almost
exfoliate,
every day.
tops 15 minutes. Like
Yeah.
I
know.
I don't have time to like hang.
If I
out
have
in
more than 50 minutes, I'm taking a bath. So.
there. Yes.
God. All right, everybody go home except
Okay,
for the
bye.
people that are on the next show.
So me, I'll go home.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
yeah. Pretty
By the
late.
way, I got to tell you, honest to God, I thought it was a terrific show today. The guests were both just magnificent.
What? You're happy?
Oh my gosh! Now she's going to start already.
God, after yesterday. Ooh.
Don't
Well,
bring up.
Bye.
Yeah,
Bye.
Yes, go. Time to go.
Goodbye.
Well, you can.
See you later. Goodbye.
Yikes.
We'll be back just a couple minutes with the family show. You know the song Kokomo? It's supposed to be off the Florida Keys, right? Hate to break your Beach Boys bubble, but that's a fictitious place they made up for the song. Fortunately for the rest of us, the Florida Keys island chain are as real as the taxes you have to pay in Minnesota if you're a resident. Now that's a reason to move south. In addition to Florida and all of Monroe County being beautiful, the Keys from Key Largo to Key West are even more beautiful. This is Tom Barnard, part-time Florida resident myself. And if you want a second house or a new retirement home or want to become a Floridian, may I suggest you contact Matt Carlson from One Key West Realty. Matt grew up in Litchfield. He's a super real estate agent when it comes to finding your tropical island space in the Keys. He lives there and here, and Matt knows what's best in Key West to buy for your second home in Florida. Matt teamed up with fellow Minnesotan from Sartell and Alexandria, Kristen Eklund, who's one of the top mortgage brokers in the country from Coast to Coast Mortgage. She'll get you the financing you need to buy a home in Florida or in Minnesota. Matt's part of the Lake Sotheby's International Realty Group here in Minnesota, and Kristen, his mortgage colleague, lives and works in the Keys, so they both know the Florida Keys' new and existing homes for sale and are Minnesotan through and through. Contact them by heading to onekeywest.com. That's onekeywest.com. You have all helped support MyPillow and their employees in these tough economic times. Mike Lindell knows this and continues to give back to listeners with great deals on his most popular products. Right now, you can save 50% on Queen and King pillows and the original My Slippers, and the MyPillow 6-pack bath towel sets are back in stock. The proprietary technology makes them extremely absorbent, yet still provides that soft feel you look for in a towel. Set comes with 2 bath towels, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths. Regular price is $79.98. And for a limited time, you can get this 6-pack towel set for only $39.99 with promo code TOM. That's a 50% savings. So go to MyPillow.com, use promo code TOM to save 50% on the MyPillow 6-pack towel sets. That is just $39.99 for a set. This deal will not last long. Enter promo code TOM for this special and many more.
Hello, I'm Brad Huckle, President and Chief Lending Officer at North American Banking Company.
And I'm Michael Bilski, CEO at North American Banking Company.
As a locally owned and operated community bank, we work with many multi-generational businesses.
Take personal care dentistry of Roseville, for example. Dr. Walter Hunt, also known as Painless to me, has been a longtime customer of the bank since we opened the bank in 1998.
When his son Kyle was ready to join the practice, they wanted to expand quickly.
With their additional space and equipment, they now are able to see more patients each day while providing the same level of care and service.
Okay, guys, I'll take it from here. If you run a family business or any kind of business for that matter, you should be banking with Brad and Mike over at North American Banking Company. Every time I deal with them or their team, I know I'm working with experienced professional bankers. So why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Guys, if you want to reignite your intimacy once and for all, listen, just give Twin Cities Premier Health a call for a discreet and confidential in-office evaluation by their highly trained staff of medical professionals. Acoustic wave therapy sessions are 25 to 30-minute treatments with no pain, no downtime afterward. And right now, Twin Cities Premier Health is offering a free treatment and a free consultation when you book today. Receive this $800 value when you use code word TOM at TwinCitiesPremierHealth.com. You may know that age-related erectile dysfunction is most commonly caused by a buildup of plaque in the arteries that supply blood to the erectile tissue. Acoustic wave therapy can rescue your relationship and has been clinically proven to break up plaque. Definitely take advantage of this limited time special offer. Receive a free treatment and a free consultation when you book today. This is a savings of $800 when you use code word TOM at TwinCitiesPremierHealth.com. Be sure to use promo code TOM so we get credit for sending you. I wouldn't recommend a service like this unless I knew they could help you. TwinCitiesPremierHealth.com.
Nana's singing. That's all there is to it. She's singing the story.
Andy,
Yes.
how are my mic levels? We never checked that yesterday.
They're good.
Okay.
Yeah, really good. I kind of
Lovely.
worked on it this morning because I did find, because I couldn't, there were very low levels coming back to me.
Yeah.
And I realized that my mic was probably too hot, which if your mic's too hot, it'll cut the incoming levels back.
Yes, it can do that.
Things.
So we figured all that stuff out. It's coming together day by day, which is a good thing, right?
Yes. How come we only have your coffee cup up?
Oh,
What?
yeah. That's
Oh.
right. You got to put us up.
There
here.
you go.
Look at that.
Beautiful faces.
Oh my
Look at Nana.
goodness.
There's Nana.
Oh my
And by the way, I'd like to remind everybody, I didn't get punched in the eye, that this was a
daily reminder.
They wanted to make sure that I didn't have some melanoma or something. So
Yep.
I did not, by the way.
Yay.
I'm not croaking anytime soon, Tevin, whether you like it or not.
Wow.
Oh, his mic's not up.
I say it looked like a bruise, like maybe you mouthed off to Catherine one too many times,
that
and
would
she
be pickleball. It's always pickleball.
It's always pickleball.
Pickleball.
Matter of fact, I met a guy in the elevator yesterday. He goes, "You got to come and play pickleball with us. We'll play pickleball." He was all excited.
Just random guy.
Yeah, random guy. I'd never met him before in my life. You got to play pickleball.
Was he coming hot off of a hot game?
Oh,
or
he had
something,
the whole
or?
backpack with the racket in it and the whole deal, man.
Okay, where does he play?
I don't know. He didn't tell me that
well,
part.
that would have been helpful.
You could actually turn your mic up a little bit. Turn the gain
Yeah,
up
Mom, you're a
like a
little
tiny
quiet.
bit.
Okay, is that good
Oh.
right there?
That
too
was
much?
your mic, I think.
That's
Yeah,
Dad.
he needs
Mom.
Are you talking about mom's mic?
mic. needs
Yeah,
to be turned
mom's
up, not
gain.
yours.
How is mine now? My gain. What is my?
Little tiny bit more.
How's that?
There, that's
Better.
Better?
Yeah,
There, and I'm good where I am, right?
you're
good.
good.
Okay.
Because this is where I am to do the morning shows, right?
Well,
there.
now you're low. You whatever you did to turn your everything down, you
No, they have to be higher when they're on the family podcast for some reason. That should be good right there, I would think.
Yep.
Who knows?
Okay, yeah, we're just only second day getting the whole new studio taken care
brand
of.
new setup.
It's gonna
Yeah.
take
We have
time.
a brand new equipment rack too. I don't really know why, but we do.
We took a long time figuring it out yesterday.
Yeah, it took up a
That-
lot. of your
Yes,
time.
we did. I think we
Cool.
were here for an extra 2 hours after the show. Just
Yeah, two engineers and me trying to
Yep.
figure out how to do
took a while.
Using you.
it.
Those are the situations where I'm just in the back holding the flashlight. Like,
Oh, yeah. I had my
Well said,
cell phone
everybody. Way
I
to
had my
work.
cell phone on FaceTime showing them all the buttons. Okay. It
Okay, is
was-
there any way you can sit further back so you're more on camera?
No.
It doesn't matter that much.
What do you mean? You don't want to see Nana?
Well, if I
If
sit
she's
further
on
back,
camera.
then I have to mess with this mic.
No,
and
that's
this-
good. Okay,
this
right
mic
there. Right there
stand
is
is a disaster. If I touch it, it
Okay,
flops
we're
down.
gonna test something. So lean in just inch by inch.
Da, da,
Don't go
da,
any. No,
da,
back up. No,
da,
inch by inch. I said, and stop.
Mile by mile.
Okay, inch.
She's gonna move around. It's not like she's gonna stay
There. That's as far forward as you want to look.
Nobody cares.
I care
You're
to
the
show
only
off my lovely
No.
wife to the world.
You're the only one that cares.
I'm the only one that cares. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So what's on the docket today? What's going on?
What is on the docket
I wanted
today?
to talk to Kristen about the movie Wish. Did she talk about Wish at all?
She did.
What'd she say?
She
I
not,
saw it.
Not
She
like
didn't say a whole lot.
Yeah, like not a huge review of it. She just said that Disney has been struggling at the box office.
I saw it this weekend.
What'd
We
you
brought the kids.
Oh.
It was like
Uh-oh.
Encanto and the reverse of the Grinch.
Oh.
It's heart
Trying to envision that.
So I'm gonna give some spoilers. Just a heads up. And I mean, I don't know if the trailer shows this or whatever. So it's like
It's
there's
a Disney movie. Who
so,
cares?
but I mean, I loved Encanto. Loved it.
Encanto was good.
Cried, laughed. I listened to some of the songs when I'm like, I just need
was it
to
an
like
emotional
have an
roller
emotion-
coaster?
absolutely. And just like it was an incredible movie. The music was amazing, beautiful. The message was great. Like, and that's a recent Disney movie. This, it was like, it felt like, okay, Encanto was great. They had the little town that they built, which is exactly what happened in Wish too. This town happened.
Magic
And
town.
there was magic. There's a sorcerer in Wish rather than the magic candle in Encanto.
Okay.
And
We like a sorcerer.
then the sorcerer's nice in the beginning,
Hmm.
and then he turns mean. That's why he's
Yeah.
the reverse Grinch.
Sure.
Yeah, I
And
get
then he
it.
starts like taking over the town and like using his magic for bad stuff and all these things because he wants to control everybody. So
Yep.
reverse Grinch
Okay.
because the Grinch wants to control Christmas and then he lets it go. And then at the end, the town comes together just like Encanto and like rebuilds everything together. And I was just like,
You sing Abu Dores.
pretty much.
I love that song.
And I just was like, it was fine.
Yeah.
It
That's
was,
a lot of
like-
Disney Pixar movies lately are fine.
Yeah,
And
like-
that's the problem is they could be a lot more than fine.
Yeah, there were
I don't-
7 friends, which were all one of the 7 dwarves' personalities. Like there was Sneezy, Sleepy, Dopey,
Oh,
Doc,
that's
like
interesting.
all of those. So I was like, I thought that was cute. There were like some Disney Easter eggs throughout where it was like, oh, that's like there were mushrooms that were from Alice in Wonderland that came to life and started talking and all this stuff. And I was like, that's cute, but it just the story felt like they were phoning it in.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they felt like they were phoning it in. The music is really good. The kids have been listening to the soundtrack nonstop. We were like, the 3 of us were belting out one of the songs in the car on the way home from basketball last night. It was great.
Belting.
But it's not, it's just wasn't like, that was so good.
I feel like Disney has lost its identity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and it was like,
in,
and Dan,
in an effort to become all things to all people.
yes.
I just don't think they know who they are anymore. And I think it's a big problem.
Yeah, and Dan was like, it just was kind of like, let's just make a bunch of people racially ambiguous and make this town have to overcome something.
Yeah, it's like
that's just
Encanto was
what's-
cool because it felt like a South American story.
Exactly.
Which you don't see very often. It wasn't like,
Yeah.
oh, that we're going to put this in the Bronx and half of them are going to be Asian somehow and a quarter are going to be
That's-
white. And it just doesn't make any sense.
That was like it's an island that was built in the Mediterranean. The lead the city was Rosas, which is like
Which sounds pretty South American.
Sounds pretty
to me.
South American, but we're in the Mediterranean.
King
like,
Magnifico, that
I'm-
sounds pretty South American.
Magnifico, yep.
Uh-huh.
Sounds South American, but
So they just wouldn't commit to it.
and the lead, she's like racially ambiguous. You're like, maybe she's black, maybe she's
She kind of looks like Pocahontas. She kind of
unclear. And then she like her best friend is Asian, and then she has another
Exactly.
friend
It
that's
just doesn't
black,
make
and then another
sense.
friend that's a redheaded white
Well-
guy, and we're just like, who is what? Where are we? Like,
Well, they really are up against it because there are actual college courses about how racist and horrible Disney has always been.
Oh, well, of course there is.
There are watch groups that watch every form of media and phone in their outrage about whatever it is.
Well, just
that they're
ignore
you know
them.
what? Yeah, it's
Just
exactly.
ignore
It's
them.
like
Because these people are very organized and they send in millions. One person can just sit there all day long. I'm going to complain. I'm going to
Too
complain.
bad. Ignore them.
But they don't, because they think that they're doing the right thing or something. I don't know. I just think that when Disney lost its way, it just became so less entertaining. There's still good ones once in a while, but I feel bad because that used to be a very joyful type of company.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like they're making movies anymore. They're just trying to check things off of their
Exactly.
checklist.
That's like,
Yep.
yeah, this
Exactly.
wish
Like
it was
a college syllabus.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
what they're
It's like-
doing.
it's like some of the most beloved Disney movies they used to take from all sorts of different cultures.
Yes.
You know, Pocahontas, Aladdin,
Right.
Mulan,
Yep.
all over the place.
Frozen is like the
Frozen
most,
is very Norwegian-y, Scandinavia.
it's from a story called The Ice Queen.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it just, I feel like if you tried to make Mulan today, except, you know, Mulan takes place in San Francisco and,
Yeah.
you know, they try to check off all the boxes, it just wouldn't feel the same.
Yeah, it just doesn't have the same. I mean, even the
It's a very Chinese story and it should stay that way. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of like, especially older stories from specific cultures should stay that way because it's part of their heritage.
Yeah, and like the thing about Encanto was like that happens like the whole city, the Encanto, the magical house, they built that because they were running away
it's
from
some unknown territory is coming
Yeah.
into their territory.
which happens in South America all the time.
exactly.
Like cities are burned because of
Mhm.
the gorilla or whatever they're called. And I
The
just
gorilla.
they're
Like
called
guerrilla
warfare.
warfare.
Yeah.
I was.
Yes, I sorry. The way I said
No,
it was
King-
guerrilla
the gorilla
warfare.
came
The
into
gorilla, a
town.
gorilla
Yeah.
comes in and
King
burns the
Kong
place.
just came in.
Yes, that's what happened. And yeah, that happens all the time. And so it's like, yes, that makes sense that this is a story. And then, oh, that's wonderful that this magic came to them. So they had a safe place to be. But this, it was like this sorcerer decided to keep people's wishes because his wish was destroyed. And then he kept everybody's wish. And when they gave him the wish, you forgot about it.
Mhm.
So then it kind of like took a part of your personality.
Okay.
And then it was like all of a sudden this teenage girl was the one that realized that this was
Yeah.
happening after years and years.
It's never good.
She's the one that was like, oh, you're actually taking something really important from them and holding it hostage. Like nobody had thought of this.
Yeah, wouldn't
Nobody
you-
realized.
Yeah, wouldn't like, you know, your spouse gives their wish away, they
Yeah.
come back and they don't remember it. You're going to be like,
And they
Hmm.
come and like one of the guys is like super depressed after he gives his wish. Like he's sleepy, basically.
there you go.
He's just like sleeps all the time. And they're like, well, you've become kind of boring since you gave your wish away. And I'm like, nobody's making these connections.
Yeah.
Really? Until she goes to an interview and is like, you're actually taking something really important from these people. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's the
It just,
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
yeah.
a lot of movies these days feel like the cinema equivalent of gruel, or it's designed to be easily digested by anyone but have no actual flavor.
Yep.
Well, it's got to be tough making a movie for kids, but then also good enough where the parents are interested and captivated by it too. Because you don't want it to be too over the top where now the kids don't understand what's going on. So you got to
Yeah.
keep it kind of basic.
They did it for decades.
They used to be able
Well, yeah,
to
they
do
used to
that.
do it all the time.
I mean, like
So
I
was
said,
it Shark
But
Tale?
they have been having
oh
that
my
issue.
gosh, the amount of times I watched Shark Tale.
When Shark Tale came out, there was like, what the halibut? And they're talking about the fish, but like all the
I-
parents would know, like, oh, that's a reference to
Mhm.
something else. Yeah.
I watched Shark. I had it on DVD and I just had it in my TV and I would like play it just in my room over and over. I just thought it was like so fun.
Right. And because wasn't it like dolphins were like gay sharks or something like that? There was a reference.
Yes,
to that.
there was
Yeah.
that.
I've never seen
Yes.
Shark Tale, so I have no idea what you're
Oh
talking about.
my
it's great.
gosh,
You gotta
it's,
watch it.
It's great.
The
yeah.
box art of Shark Tale is gross to me. It freaks me out.
What?
Am I thinking of Shark Tale with the
Will
fish?
Smith
It's Will Smith.
and like Christina Aguilera and
Yeah, the
Yes.
fish just looks weird. It looks like you copy paste a fish head onto like a different fish's body.
Well, yeah, it's like they put Will Smith's face on a fish.
Yeah, it just looks.
I
dumb.
mean, they're weird looking, yes,
They're
but it's
very weird
The
looking.
music is great. It's fun. I don't know, and it's yeah.
It gets a 35% on Community.
Oh, really? I give it 100.
2004. That's movie's
Yeah.
old.
That
Yeah.
movie is quite old.
I
Yeah.
was to say I watched it in like junior high, high school.
Will Smith, Robert De Niro, Renee Zellweger, Jack Black, Angelina
Scorsese,
Jolie.
Scott, all-star cast.
Yeah.
Not a fan of Angelina Jolie.
Apparently not.
She's just so gross.
She is gross.
She's just a gross
She is pretty
person,
gross.
apparently.
Yeah.
Is
It's a
she
good
the
thing
one
she's
that-
pretty, or else.
Is she the one who's married to Brad Pitt?
Was.
Yeah.
Brangelina.
And I don't think that I've never understood that.
No. And wasn't she the one that like adopted all the kids from Africa?
Yep.
Was she one of those?
They have a lot of. They have a lot
Kevin,
of
she was proving to the world how forthcoming she is and how helpful.
It's just something about collecting black kids. That
Yeah, it is.
Exactly.
You know, it's a little.
I don't get what's wrong with that, Tevin.
Why don't you explain it
Give me a
to us?
Disney movie about it.
Kevin just showed up one day and was like, "I also have 8 young black kids that I went and adopted."
Look what
I'd be
I
like,
bought.
What are you trying to prove here, guys?
I know.
Exactly.
It's weird.
Yeah.
So anything good to go see now? You guys seen any new movies that are good?
I really want to go see Napoleon. That looks freaking great.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, it looks good. It's Joaquin
Like the
Phoenix.
real Napoleon?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Napoleon,
it's
yep.
Napoleon. Joaquin Phoenix, who is a fantastic actor,
He is
So
very
plays
shocked.
Napoleon, and the trailer looks so good.
I can't believe that they're doing that movie. It just doesn't sound like what people want to see.
good. At Christmas time. Come
Watch the
on.
trailer. It
It's
looks
coming to
so
Apple TV Plus.
It's coming to theaters too.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it's going to be in theaters. I did see
Historical
that.
drama about Napoleon.
Yeah.
He was a colonizer, man.
He was a colonizer. It's true.
Sure was.
Why do we want to watch that guy?
Did he have a deformed hand? Was that why he always had his hand?
No, there's a lot of myths about
There's a
that,
lot
but
of-
I think
yeah.
he
Oh, are
just
there?
did that because it looked proper.
I
And he
think
was
that
just
all came from a
tiny.
portrait that was done of him.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
him
Somebody
Right.
just
Yeah.
started
the pictures.
He was just
looking
a
up all kinds of
tiny.
stuff.
He
power
wasn't
hungry
actually.
man.
That was also not
Napoleon
true.
wasn't tiny.
Napoleon was not short.
Really?
I thought he
The
was
French
short.
foot was longer than the English foot.
Oh,
They said,
okay.
like, oh,
Sure.
Napoleon's 5 feet tall, but that's in
Okay.
French feet.
But he was actually.
Well,
But he was like average height.
Oh, it's like
the
the
French
level.
aren't known for being tall, especially in those days.
No.
no,
Well, no one was tall back then.
no one was. I was
No.
gonna say like 5'5" would probably be average for a man at that. I mean,
No,
ever been
back
to a-
then probably not even.
Yeah, for a
When we
man?
went to into England and we saw all those like suits of
I know.
armor and stuff,
and
it's
like their shoes. It's like this is.
I
a
know.
shoe.
I know.
Like, how
They were
narrow.
mini people. They were
What?
mini people.
I know
They
it's like,
were.
can you imagine going back in time and like you see this foreign armies besieging
Yeah,
your
just like-
town and they're like, oh, they're all like,
Yeah.
we're here to represent the Lollipop Guild.
And I'll
It's like,
and
would
we
you
would
be
just,
scared? I
could just be like, get out of here.
yeah, just sweep them away with
Get
your
away
foot.
from me.
According to Wikipedia, he was 5'6", which
Yeah, which is
I
probably-
was
That-
fairly.
Well,
Age
when
was-
what century was that? I have no idea when he was born.
He was born in 1769
So
and
the
died in
18th
1821.
century. Average height in the 18th century.
And he died of stomach cancer. I thought he was shot.
In
Nothing about
England
war.
at the time, it was 5'5". So he
See?
was actually he was.
There's a
one above
giant
that.
amongst
Didn't I
men.
say 5'5" for a man
You
at that
did.
time? Look at me.
You
I'm
did.
a,
Look at me.
She
I'm a
knows.
Well, I don't
history
know.
buff.
For all I knew, Napoleon could have been born in the 12th century.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I could have.
Anything before like the 1900s.
It's all the same.
All
Yeah,
castles
it's all
and
just-
dragons.
Yeah, before they had light bulbs, it's all wizards. and
It's either
stuff.
like ancient Egypt or like
Yeah, exactly. To me, yeah, there's like
castles.
there's like 6 eras in human history. It's like there's the dinosaurs, the cavemen, Bible times, castle
Yeah.
times, and then now.
Yep.
Exactly.
Well,
that's how I
Pretty much how the earth
when I was in middle
human history.
when I was in middle school, we had to do a book report on our grandparents, and so I went into it with that kind of train of thought, and I was like, "Grandma, was there like indoor plumbing when you were a kid?" And she's like, "How old do you think I am?"
I don't know. I mean,
Nice ball.
there's a lot
Yeah.
of places that probably like, rural Kansas or something
Yeah,
back then
maybe
probably
not.
didn't.
Yeah,
Maybe
but no,
not.
I was under the assumption she had to like take a basket and go dip it in the river to get
Mhm.
water for the day and
Yeah.
come back.
Well, I mean, even my kids, I read a book to Sage, and I was like, I read this book when I was a kid, and he went, "Wow, this is in Dave's book.
Mhm.
I was like, really?
Oh, that reminds me of
I have not
something.
been.
That reminds me of something Melissa saw on the internet yesterday. Okay, so I want you all to pantomime taking a picture. It's like the motion of taking a picture.
Oh yeah, you do like the
Oh
little.
yeah. I guess
Nope.
now it would be.
Now
this.
it's like this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's like when,
Well,
because
yourself.
because they take a picture like this with their phone.
Taking yourself.
Oh, that's
So
true.
them taking a picture is like
Nobody knows what
this.
that is.
well, and
That's
it's when
true.
you if you ask a Gen Z or younger to like call, pantomiming call on the phone,
they'll go like this.
They do this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
for me
true.
it's like this, even though I haven't
Yeah,
used
I know. Like a
it's literally probably been 15 years since I've used like an actual
yes. But this
handset
is,
on the regular.
But this is just the
It looks more like a phone.
thing for phone.
Yeah.
But for them it's this. 'cause-
So under back to Napoleon for just a second. I found this interesting. I found this
Gone
interesting.
down a
On the
Napoleon
Wikipedia thing, it says occupation: politician, statesperson, military officer, art collector, emperor.
My occupation is emperor. Emperor/art collector.
Emperor.
That's quite the
That's on your
resume.
Yeah.
Emperor.
The kids the other day kept on asking me about all of the presidents and what they invented. Because it was like George Washington invented a bunch of stuff. Benjamin Franklin invented a bunch of like all these
Or did they?
old.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they just took credit for it. True. But and then Sage was like, did our president now invent anything? I was like, no, nobody invented
Inflation. He did. He did. He invented
Like-
inflation and high cost of living. He invented
That's
that.
the thing. It's like, can you imagine how easy it would have been to be an inventor in like the 12th century?
Yeah, just come up with literally anything.
Yeah, it's like you're living in a village. It's like, I just attached a stick to a different stick. It's called a two stick. And everyone's like, wow,
Incredible.
I can't believe it. Because there's fewer things. Everything's been invented now.
Yeah.
True.
Todd, speaking of presidents, did you guys know, first of all, that Abraham Lincoln was gay?
Yeah, I don't believe
That's the new.
It's very well known that he was
Oh,
gay, apparently. He
that's
lived with a guy for 4 years and they only had a little tiny bed in the house.
You
And Ben Franklin, they're saying now, Ben Franklin killed 3 people and buried them in his basement.
Sounds like a president.
I know Ben Franklin was really into hookers, so there's that.
Oh yeah, he was big into hookers. That's
So he
very
probably
cool.
killed hookers.
They left that out of the history books that I read in school.
Let's see what Ben Franklin's Wikipedia
boy.
Oh
boy.
Well, I mean, didn't he die of like syphilis or something?
I think so. I think
A
that's
lot
right.
of people did.
Oh,
back in
really?
those
His
days.
Wikipedia article is very long, so it's going to take a while.
Might take
There
a
we
while. Nana's checking it out.
No, actually, he
Printer and publisher.
had died of pleurisy at the age of 84. So
I had
actually-
pleurisy once.
84? That's a
Yeah,
lot.
he lived quite a while. He was obese for most of his life, and yet in the 1700s he lived to 84.
So pleurisy, which I had one time.
Yeah, it's
Super
like
wild.
pneumonia.
The lining of your
Lungs.
stomach,
Lungs.
lungs in swells.
Yeah.
Definitely thought you were joking. I thought there was like scurvy.
No,
where it's like
pleurisy
something
is
just
a-
goes-
Pleurisy is a thing. Yeah, I had to go to
I had
the
a horse
hospital.
with that once.
Yeah, I had to go to
Yeah,
the
you get sick. You can't breathe.
Because mine was, I think I had pneumonia, and then I got food poisoning like right after I had pneumonia, and then it like it was really bad.
Started a chain
All sorts
reaction.
of-
So did it say
Also-
anything?
It's not fun.
Joe from Louisville Point has a good point. Benjamin Franklin was never president.
I
No, he was
know.
never
You're
president.
right.
Oh,
You're right.
He does
I
get
said
lumped
that
kind
about
of.
10 minutes ago. but-
Yes.
He looks like
He
all
look-
the
yeah, I know.
presidents. He's got the
And
white
he's
wig.
on, and he's on
Should have been a president.
money and
Yep.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. What
Yeah.
was
Joe, you
what was
just
his
proved
actual?
Yeah, what did he
What
do?
was his title? Was he just like the local inventing guy?
Yeah, like why is he such a big deal?
He must
He
have been-
invented a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like who didn't?
Yeah, that's
Like,
exactly.
yeah,
Everyone
like-
invented. Like we were just saying, everyone invented
Yeah.
back then.
Like I asked Siri, I was like, what did George? I was like,
he
George
was the
Washington.
president of Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's right. He was.
He was president, huh?
Yeah, take that.
See?
Oh, interesting. He was also the first postmaster general
Yep.
Yeah, that guy was busy.
and
In
the
between his
U.S.
syphilis
minister to
bouts.
Sweden and France. He was the postmaster general of British America as well. Second president of the
Busy.
University of Pennsylvania. He
Was
did all sorts of stuff.
Emperor. Is that on the resume?
Well, like a Postmaster General is probably pretty close to Emperor.
Yeah.
The Emperor of Mail.
I mean, who were good presidents? Abraham Lincoln,
Obama,
Theodore Roosevelt.
Obama. Yes, let's throw that one in there. Absolutely.
Let's let him have that. Let him have it.
Yes, Tevin. He was so great.
Although there was a friend of mine was doing some research about Israel and Palestine, and there was people going like, "Oh, it's the attack in the Hamas attack is similar to 9/11 type of thing," and so they started doing research around like Barack Obama, and they're like, he actually wasn't that great.
No.
Of a president, the
Oh,
guy.
if you look into like the Monsanto, like he put all these bills that are like these are important, so he could cover up all these like horrible things that we can spray on our food now, and like so he could get a kickback. Yeah, if you look into it, it's
and which is just like every president.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
Once you look back and you're done romanticizing,
It's like I've like my childhood presidents are Clinton and George W. Bush, and it's like neither
George
of them.
W. Bush is a sweet man. Peyton in his basement.
No, he acts like a sweet man, but he's also the guy who started blowing everything up.
Yeah, right until Kanye West went on national television and said George Bush hates black people.
George
I
Bush
thought George
doesn't
Bush
care
was the
about
greatest.
black people.
You remember that clip?
Yes, I do.
Oh, the telethon. It was
with Mike Myers.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Kanye.
That's right. It was Mike Myers on stage with him. I forgot about
And
that.
then I think it was another comedian. It was like Chris Rock or somebody else that they like threw it to, and he was just like, "Well, okay." It was Chris Tucker. I think that's what it was.
I guess I'll be following that.
I don't know how to follow up with the president of the United States hates black people, but
okay,
donate to save Katrina or Hurricane Katrina.
Whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
It was the Katrina fundraiser.
Relief.
That's right.
So who were actually good presidents? They were like good people.
I put a lot of
I
thought
was
into
gonna say
that.
Theodore Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt. That's
is-
the only one.
And Abraham Lincoln.
Because he rode a horse and shot bison.
Exactly.
That's
And
what
just,
makes him a good
wanted,
president.
And just wanted the outdoors to
Yeah, exactly.
stay.
He started the
national parks.
national park system.
Well, I don't know, Tom and Catherine, when you guys were younger, were there like presidents that were looked at as good? That
Horrendous. All of the presidents from like when you were younger, all horrible.
Tom or Catherine?
Sorry.
Well, FDR kind of started the whole like president being dirtbags thing, I think.
Nixon was a president when I was.
He was
terrible.
a good president, but he wasn't a good person.
You know what's very interesting about that? If you look up all that Watergate scandal, he was basically just a scapegoat in that.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, like
Really he wasn't a bad president, actually.
No, he was not a bad president at all.
No.
But he was very like crass and crude and not ever happy
Yeah,
about anything.
I looked up Watergate once because I was like, I don't remember this like from history class.
Mhm.
What actually
All we
happened?
were told, Nixon
What-
spied on some people and he's bad.
And like I looked it up and no questions were answered.
No.
I was like, what? I still don't know what happened.
Well, it's one of those things where you have to learn like 70 different people's names just to follow what the hell they're talking about. It's
Exactly.
like, I don't have
and
time for this.
Yeah, so I still don't know, really.
Nixon bad. That's
Yeah.
all you need to know.
Pretty much.
I will tell you this, that he was the presidency didn't work out really well for him, but he was a very nice man. It's Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter is a very, very decent.
He was
person.
basically the opposite of Nixon.
Well,
Bad
that's
president, good person.
That's good.
Yeah, exactly.
what about Ronald Reagan? Was he a good president? Because the only thing I know of him is from the Back to the Future when they find the
Mhm.
camera and he's like, "Oh,
Yep.
of course you have to, because your president's an actor."
Oh, yeah.
Did he say
Well,
that?
he was a good president because the economy just exploded under his direction.
Reaganomics.
Yeah.
Yep. The economy did very, very well. So I
Good
back then I
explosion.
didn't really pay much attention to the presidency.
No.
But I don't even pay much attention to it now because they're not my kind of people.
But that's because you used to be able to, when government was smaller, you used to be able to just let it run like Windows in the background.
Yeah,
Everything's
yep.
working. You don't have to
Yep.
worry about it crashing every 15 minutes. Now government is so huge and so
Yeah.
corrupt that there's just nothing you can do.
I was born under
Never paid
Reagan,
attention.
right?
Yeah.
Good question.
I don't remember him, but
No,
No, if you were born,
you were 2 when you
when you're a baby.
1989. So actually, technically, Alex, no, because there was a beginning of 89. I think that January 20th. So you just missed the Reagan years.
Check me out.
Yep, by
So was
a
it
week
George
and a
Bush?
half.
Well, I know Clinton
Yeah,
was in office when the
HWS.
kids were in high school because we were explaining that blowjobs were still sex to our children because of Clinton.
I do not remember this
Because of Clinton.
conversation.
Because of Clinton. Thank you,
remember
you asshole Clinton. Thank you for those conversations.
That is awesome.
Cool. Good information.
Okay. That's what I remember most about his presidency.
The thing I remember most about the HW presidency is being in like first grade, or maybe not even first grade, and we had a mock election, and whoever HW ran against in his second term, or his would-be second term, I guess. I don't even remember. Al Gore, maybe.
Maybe.
Who did he run against in the second?
HW?
The second go.
I don't know.
But all I remember is I voted for Bush because I thought it was funny that his name was a plant.
There you go.
That's real
Bush,
nice.
like the thing.
Yeah.
I think I'll vote for him.
We had a mock election in second grade 2 weeks ago, but it was Chips Ahoy versus Oreo.
Oh, well, who
Well,
won?
Because we were just talking about like what an election is and what voting is, and so we gave each of them one of the cookies, and it was like whoever you vote for and whoever wins
Vote for
wins.
Chips Ahoy.
Ugh, I ate one. I was like, this is gross.
It's like,
bad cookie.
It's
Not
like if
good.
you were to take. It's like a powder pressed into a cookie.
Yeah, exactly.
But in a good way.
It doesn't. No, I was like, I don't like this. The kids voted Chips Ahoy. I was
Mm.
like, but I'm an Oreo. I love Oreos.
All right, we're idiots. He ran against Clinton because he lost.
We were just saying that. You won't let us have a
See,
word
you
in
won't let us have a
edgewise over
word
here.
because I said it was Clinton, but you were talking.
Well, you were also leaning into like
I
3
was
rooms
not.
back. So there's
No,
that.
I was not. I leaned forward and I said it was Bill Clinton.
Yes, really, dog.
But all I heard was blah, 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 blah.
Wow.
We moved on to Chips Ahoy.
Yeah. So
And my last good president to throw out there was JFK. Was he a good president before? Obviously, his untimely demise.
terrible person.
Not a good person. That is very, very
Was he a
true.
good president?
Well, I don't know. I mean, with the whole Cuban Missile Crisis, he almost
he did
got
a good
us in.
job there.
But yeah, we almost got nuked, but
no, we didn't.
Stop that.
Almost being the key word.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We should point out that his father was affiliated with the mafia, so that's not good news.
Well,
That was his dad, not him.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you can't accuse him of anything.
I will tell you to her dying day, my mother had a picture of JFK because he was the first Catholic president.
Is that how many Catholic presidents
2.
have? Oh,
Two. The second one?
Biden.
Biden,
Yep.
Yeah, he's a
Catholic.
He's a fake Catholic.
Yeah, because isn't something like 40% of America Catholic? So technically,
Wow.
Catholics
Is it?
are grossly underrepresented in the presidency.
Well, it's because we had to hang our heads in shame for a long time over all the
Let's see.
pedophilia scandals.
23% of Americans are Catholic. So about a quarter of our presidents should be Catholics, but it's only like what,
2.
10%? 2 out of what, 50 something? So not even close to 10%. It's like 5%.
Yep.
Joe Biden's the 40.
So there you go.
President?
46.
46.
Yeah, I remember Trump was 45.
No, he's not actually the president, though. There's no such thing as the 46th president of the United States.
Oh, there isn't?
2 weeks from now, all our phones will go
Oh,
black,
yeah.
revealing that all this money is being put through the Vatican. And
I can't remember what person we were talking about, but there's this conspiracy that he's really running for, or he's president. Like he dresses up as Biden in like some suit. It is going out.
Ooh.
Gosh, we talked about
How many people think
yeah,
this?
it's bizarre. Like the
What?
things that people believe.
Oh.
I'm like, well, all right, let's take a step back.
No,
I do think that Obama is influencing the presidency.
Oh,
So
no
I do.
doubt.
I really do.
No question.
Oh, wait, shoot. I have to go.
Oh, all right then.
Bye.
What do you mean you got to go?
Recognize when you're having fun. I have to go to school. It's
All right. Well, have a magnificent day. I kind of like being distant, the fact that we can still see each other and hear each other and talk to each other every day. So it's like you're there anyway.
And the lighting looks good in the studio now.
Looks really
I can see
good.
Andy's face
Yep.
and Alex's
we don't
face.
turn the lights off and
Yeah,
then
exactly.
rely on ring lights, Mom.
Well, you look normal.
Yeah,
is what
because
I'm
the
saying.
lights are just on.
The lights are
All
on.
right. Well, when I don't know.
No one's using any of the ring lights.
I'm using mine, but that's
You
there
change
are no
up.
lights up
Well,
here.
Okay, I have to leave. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Tevin was using a ring light.
I'll turn. Just in honor of you, I'll turn it on.
Well, you just don't look really like you're in a shadow like you used to.
It all works out in the end.
Maybe this computer is better.
The tangle of cords over there.
Okay, let's talk about this again because I was very interested when we were going to name. Was there ever a good president?
Mm-hmm.
I said Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah, Teddy Roosevelt, I guess,
Rough
was
Rider.
the one guy. Yep, the one guy that everybody considers to be a very good president and a nice person too.
Well, I don't think he was trying to micromanage everything either.
Right.
No, he just wanted there to be parks and horses and stuff, moose.
Yeah.
Well, the Black Hills and all that stuff was Teddy Roosevelt, wasn't it?
Yep, sure
I thought
was.
Yeah,
They
he-
love him in South Dakota because of it.
Well, he tried to be a rancher, but he bought the wrong kind. I remember seeing a documentary about him. He bought the wrong kind of cattle, and they all froze to death.
Oh, yeah, that will happen, yes.
Whoops. Yeah, that's not good news. right
Frozen
there.
beef, though.
Yeah.
Grass-fed
Nice
beef.
and fresh. Yeah.
Dude, what are you doing?
He's running after your watch.
Oh,
Joe, get
God.
it.
I can't wear a watch around that dog. He goes berserk.
Andy wrecked him with the laser pointer.
Yeah, way to go, Andy.
He's never been the same since.
Reverse PTSD.
Every time he sees a little glimpse of light on a wall, he loses his mind like a cat.
Exactly.
Yes,
So,
he does.
Lay down and be quiet. Hey,
that's real nice.
who's a good boy?
Lay down and shut up.
He's a good boy.
All right, what else is on the news docket today? You been checking out the news at all?
News. Oh, I took a picture of something that was interesting. What was it again? Let me find it.
Got something on there.
I found something.
Were you ever a Dolly Parton fan, Tom?
Yeah, I would say so.
She seems
Or are
like
you? I guess yeah, she's not dead. Well, did you see her halftime show for the Cowboys on Thanksgiving?
No.
So she lip synced 99% of it.
Oh.
But
Wow.
she was standing. I felt so bad. She was standing on stage, just death gripping the railing, and it looked like she was ready to fall over at any time. Then they just trotted her out there. She very sad.
That's too bad.
That is too bad. I talked to her a couple of times. You could not find a sweeter woman. Never met her in person, but I talked to her on the phone.
I guess she gives a lot of money to people in need and is very generous with her time and money.
Yeah, her and the Cowboys every year donate a bunch of money to the Salvation Army, and she
Yeah.
all of that. So yeah, very philanthropic, but yeah, she doesn't look like she should be performing on stage.
Yeah, after a certain point, you got to hang it up.
How old is she anyway?
77.
That's all?
That's not that old. Cher's like 160 and she's still.
Is she? How old is Cher?
You
Well,
know,
Cher's also mostly plastic at this point, so it holds her up like a scaffolding. No, Cher is also only 77.
Oh, I thought
She's
she was a lot
77.
older than that.
We heard her at several times on the drive down. Was singing Half Breed. Remember that song? You guys ever heard the song Half Breed?
Sounds
About her,
great.
Gypsies, tramps, and thieves. Wait, that's a different one.
I was going to say that's different. I'm
She
pretty
had a
totally
lot
different.
of politically incorrect songs.
I guess so. Yeah. Yeah. Andy, can you find a little the song I just brought up?
No, the only one I know is Believe.
Believe, that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's newer.
Exactly.
No, it
Is?
was
Newer?
It's called Half Breed. It was in the 60s or 70s, something like that, probably. Cher sang it.
Here it is, I think. Share channel HD. I'm just going to skip to a random spot in here and hope for the best.
Well, she sings the refrain over and
Oh,
over.
Tevin's got the lyrics.
I've got the lyrics pulled up, and it's probably not going to go over too well. The first line is my father married a pure Cherokee, and so I assume it's just all downhill from Indians.
Half breed, how I learned to hate the word. Half breed.
I'm scared to read it because I might offend somebody.
Here we go.
Well, it's completely offensive.
If I can even really do it.
Can you do it? Maybe not.
Oh, I hear something starting.
It's not sounding good.
Oh my gosh.
Tevin, are you reading the part where all the kids gave her feathers for her holidays?
We're listening to a song. You just can't hear it.
Oh, they can't hear it?
Apparently not. Breathe.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
could not get made today.
No.
That,
No.
that's not great.
But didn't she claim she was half Native American? at one point?
I think she was
She
something.
well, her last name is Sarkeesian, which I think is like Armenian or something like that. Let's see.
Yeah, that sounds Armenian.
Yep, she is Armenian American. Or her dad is Armenian American. Her mother is apparently Cherokee ancestry, but
Yeah,
also
there you go.
Irish, English, German, etc. So who knows if that's even really true?
I thought she wrote the song about her family. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, I'm a 128th Cherokee.
Right.
Like Elizabeth Warren.
Even if you are, does it really matter at that point that you know an ancestor 12 generations back was Cherokee? Like how
Well,
much of that Cherokee heritage are you
If you're in politics or celebrity, it makes a huge difference.
Yes, it
We're
does.
trying to open
Okay,
Like
so I
that.
found out what I was gonna what I linked. Judd Apatow.
Yeah.
We've had him on the show.
Yeah. He's been on the show.
He put together an amazing documentary tribute about the unlikely friendship between Bob Newhart and Don Rickles.
Oh, that's magnificent. Believe me.
Oh, you saw it?
No, I used to see Don Rickles and Bob Newhart together all the time. And the two guys had completely different senses of humor. But when you added them together, it was brilliant.
Yeah, so we should look for that because I think that would be something you
Yes.
would enjoy.
I would love that.
Bob and Don, apparently.
Bob and
Bob and
Don.
Don?
Loved them both.
Bob and Don.
Completely different, but I loved both of them. Well, Don, Bob is still alive, isn't he?
Yes.
I thought so. He's got to be in his
He's
mid-90s, isn't he?
gotta be.
He's 94, yeah.
Yeah, mid-90s.
Wow. So we probably won't have him around for too long.
Probably not.
That Bob Newhart show used to be so damn funny. Loved it.
God, you want to hear one line from the Bob Newhart show that would never be allowed today?
Yes.
He played a psychiatrist, and his people came in. You know, they had a little group psychiatry deal. And this woman comes in, and there was this crabby guy. The guy was always crabby every time he was on the show. But they're all sitting in a circle with the psychiatrist, who was Bob Newhart. And this woman comes in, and she sits down, and Bob Newhart says, "Well, you seem unusually happy today. What are you so happy about?" And she said, "Well, now that you asked, I can tell you I have lost 12 pounds in the last month." There's a long pause, and the crabby guy goes, "Yeah, but you still look like you swallowed a Volkswagen." I don't think they'd let you say that
Well,
today.
Did you talk to Kristen about A Walk in the Woods?
No.
No.
What is that?
Oh, it was a movie that we watched with Robert Redford and
Yeah.
what's his face? The drunk guy.
Oh, wow. Damn it. Now I forgot his name. I had his
Nick
name.
Nolte?
Yeah.
Nick Nolte.
Nick
Yeah.
Nolte.
Oh,
Um,
yes, he's
the
definitely
drunk guy?
So many of the lines, it's a new movie, are so inappropriate.
Yeah,
Very
they are.
sexist and fat shaming like crazy.
Oh, like
One
that.
of the jokes was oh, she had a beautiful body buried under 200 pounds of fat. You can't say stuff like that.
Yeah, that's kind of the new thing to do now is push back on the politically correctness because
But-
you got to think a big enough audience where people are
But
like, oh, that's-
Robert Redford is super PC. I was kind of shocked. He's old. How old is he?
He's 87.
Yeah, he's 87. They did it. It was a movie about doing the Appalachian Trail.
Well, this movie is also almost 10 years old.
It is?
It is not.
Yep.
I thought it was a brand new
2015.
movie. Okay.
Really?
Shows you what we know.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you search on Netflix.
Oh,
or
so he was
something.
only 77 when that movie came out? He looks like he's 100.
Yeah.
Well, he's almost 80.
yeah, and he looks like he's at least 100.
He
He
must
does.
have spent a lot of time in the sun, is my guess.
Yeah, seems like it.
Yeah, he's got the sun
Yeah,
sun
he's got
damage
the
look to
sun-
him.
Yeah. But yeah. Okay. So that's why it was so politically incorrect. Okay.
Because it was 10 years ago.
10 years ago. Although, isn't that when all that started?
Yeah, 2012 is when it started getting really bad.
Okay.
Can you imagine what Nick Nolte must look like 10 years later now?
Oh my God, he looked like crap in the movie. And you know, it's as good as they can make him look. And his voice was so like 5,000 packs of cigarettes a
Oh,
day
yeah.
and a quart
Mm.
of whiskey a minute. It sounds bad.
So between the two of you guys in Studio A there, are there any new movies coming out that look good? Because like I said, we watched that Christmas movie last night, Genie, which was okay.
It was highly okay.
Highly okay. That's every movie now. They're all just okay.
Yeah, there's not that great anymore. What happened?
I don't know. There hasn't been a movie that's coming out that I've been excited for in a very long time. I think
Yeah.
there's a movie called Fall Guy that's coming out in the spring. That's just kind of your typical action thriller type.
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
Okay.
That looks halfway decent. It's got was it Jake Gyllenhaal is in it?
Oh, sure.
But yeah, other than that, there's not really anything that's
But
on my radar.
Thanksgiving and Christmas is right. There should be movies out right now,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
really good ones. What's going on?
They used to hold them all up for Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The great movies would come out just right at Thanksgiving. Didn't happen this year.
No, I wonder if it's fallout from the strike, not being able to promote.
Oh, yeah.
movies,
Yep.
maybe would be my guess.
Yeah, like Melissa McCarthy. I think she's really a talented person, but she kind of just does the same thing
same
over
thing,
and
yep.
over and over again. I
Yep.
mean, I saw her in one very serious role in a movie, and she was great in it. But
Oh, she's a hell of a talent. There's no question about that.
Yeah,
I
we
like
watched her in the Starling, I think it was called.
The Starling. That
Yeah,
was it.
that
That
was a
was
pretty
really,
good-
really good. Yeah, she was excellent in that movie. But yeah, she was just the exact same thing. And the guy who played the lead in Genie he didn't have a lot of charisma.
No, he did not.
And I know he was
British.
supposed to be a very nice. I know he was supposed to be just like a regular nice guy, but I think he downplayed his role a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Talented enough. It was a weird role for him.
Yeah, I don't think it was his role.
All right. Anything else of importance to talk about?
Not that I know of.
We got it covered.
Yeah, I think so. Unless you want to dive into your Gopher basketball team losing to the University of San Francisco.
You mean like the Vikings losing and the Gophers losing and the Gophers losing and oh my God,
Yeah.
those teams suck.
The more I watch sports here, the more I understand why you leave the state.
Oh, I'm telling you, Scott, I love my Twins. I love the Vikings. I used to be a huge Gopher basketball fan, but they have sucked now for about 30 years. I can't watch them. They need to get rid of that athletic director of the University of Minnesota. The teams have sucked since he's gotten here.
Yeah.
He's got to go and take that football coach with you. He's another fraud. Oh, let's all march together. Yeah, once you win a game or two, how about that action?
Yep.
All right. So we'll wrap it up before we go off the deep end, but we will talk to
Had
you
to bring
tomorrow.
up sports, Tevin.
Sorry.
Thanks a lot, Tevin.
All right. Talk to you guys later.
Got a picture in my pocket reminds me of this one was before. Every time I hear the same reminds me how you talking.